हेलो। आज होगी जी, हेलो हेलो होगी, हेलो हेलो हो जाएगी। स्क्रीन कैप्चर ऑन करना पड़ेगा। वो बढ़िया आवाज आ रही है, बढ़िया। होगी भाई, स्क्रीन कैप्चर हो जाएगी। ट्विच से करेंगे क्योंकि मेरे को ट्विच सही लगता है। चलो अभी तो ऐड चल रही है अपनी। अरे इतनी बढ़िया ऐड है क्या, यूट्यूब पे ही ना चला लूँ। वैलोरेंट मास्टर्स, वैलोरेंट मास्टर्स आयो।
Probably two of the most untraditional teams that we have here.
Honestly, out of most of the world, most teams are moving
Yeah,
away from
true.
the stage.
आवाज
But
आ
I
रही है
actually
बढ़िया।
still think it's really good. They're playing the old last year default comp, just
अरे
subbing out that Sova for
इतनी कर देंगे आवाज, अपनी आवाज इतनी ठीक है।
lot harder to clear V main. Gecko
ठीक है, इतनी इतनी ठीक है। मेरी आवाज ज्यादा आ रही है ना, वो मैटर करता है।
here in the mid round. His ult is also
हाय
powerful and very farmable on Icebox. I think this is
यार,
it.
आठ साढ़े आठ
The win
शुरू हो जाए बस अब।
really good ideas with this comp. On the other hand, FPX
यार एक ये मिल जाए गुडी भाई अपना। अबे ये कैसी कमांड है, हाई एट द रेट यूजर नहीं चल रही क्या? मेरे को नहीं पता कैसे ठीक करते हैं। मैंने ट्राई करी डालने की यार। चल मैं देखता हूँ, एक सेकंड रुक। लॉग इन करने दो। ये बहुत बोलते, बढ़िया बोलते हैं, पर इतनी देर बात कैसे कर लेते हैं यार ये लोग। मैं ये सोचता हूँ, कमाल है भाई। अरे इसमें यार पता नहीं क्या है, कैसे अटैक करते हैं मेरे को पता नहीं। कर ली, यूजर डॉट नेम करना है शायद। आई हैव नो आइडिया। मेरे को अपने इंट्रोसिव थॉट्स रखने पड़ेंगे छुपा के यार। अच्छा, वेट अ सेकंड ब्रदर, कस्टम पे जा रहा हूँ। एडिट यूजर डॉट नेम करके देखता हूँ, ऐसे है क्या? सबमिट। हाई लिखियो फिर से। लेट्स सी। डॉलर है, एट द रेट नहीं है। रुक जा रुक जा। ओके, डॉलर है, डॉलर 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 है। डॉलर है, एट द रेट मैंने डाल रखा है, डॉलर है। हाँ देख, ये आ रहा है ना, इसमें डॉलर है। डॉलर अपना, अरे ब्रो, डन। अभी ठीक हो जाएगा। एक सेकेंड, नेम भी हटाना पड़ेगा यहाँ से। डन। अब ट्राई कर। अब मेरे को लग रहा है ठीक चलेगा। ये ऐड शुरू हो जाती है यार, मैच शुरू होने वाला है मतलब। ओए, हो गया हो गया। अब बाकी दूसरा वाला हटा दो। चेयर हटा दो भाई की, सबको लगेगा भाई क्या नूब है। अबे मैं कहाँ गया? नाइट बर्ड भाई। ओबे, रिमूव, लेट्स गो। और कौन कौन सी कमांड होनी चाहिए सबानी भाई, क्या लगता है आपको? मैंने तो एक डाली है बस अभी, ये वाली सब्सक्राइब वाली। ओए, अभी इनकी लड़ाई नहीं हो रही? ओए भाई, ये क्या हो गया? अबे ये तो मेरी थंबनेल हो गई। सारे मेरे थंबनेल की तरह बने बैठे हैं। लेस भाई, लेस पहले इतना था पतला, फिर वो एक चैंपियंस बाद फिर थोड़ा और मोटा हुआ, फिर थोड़ा और मोटा हुआ। ग्रोथ है भाई। भाई गेम में भी बढ़िया, ऐसे ही। ऐसा ही होता है, ग्राइंड में तो ही जाता है भाई। ये क्या इनकी वो चल रही है बातचीत? ये क्या ड्रिप्ड आउट क्यों है सारे इस अरे मैंने भाई रीजन नहीं भरा भाई, मेरे को तो सीधा कॉल ही लगा दी उसने घर पे। क्या बोलूं? ए पैक गॉड रीजन भाई, जीतेगा तो ए पैक। पापा ना आ जाए, सामान लेके आना, उठाना पड़ेगा। जीतेगा तो ए पैक ही। बातचीत चल रही है अभी। अरे जंजी फाइटिंग भाई, टेक्सचर ने तो बढ़िया खेला यार, बहुत बढ़िया खेला टेक्सचर। अब ये बात ही करते रहेंगे यार, अभी टाइम लगेगा शायद, कितनी देर स्टार्ट होना है। डब्ल्यू सेंड भाई, वॉचिंग तो अच्छी आ रही है इनकी। स्टार्ट। अरे इसने मेरे घर पे कॉल लगा दिया सर ने, फिर मैं तो हक्का बक्का रह गया, फिर मैंने कहा सर यार आप मेरे घर क्यों अबे मैं देख क्या हुआ, मेरे को तो पता भी नहीं चला कि मेरे घर लगाएंगे, क्योंकि अब इतने दिन से सबके घर पे तो कॉल जा ही रही है, मेरा तो एक बार भी नाम नहीं लिया। अब वहाँ क्लास में बैठे बैठे सिंह आप भी आ जाओ, मैंने कहा ठीक है भाई। फिर एक तो अननोन कॉल आते हैं ना इतने, पापा को तो काट दिया, फिर मैंने कहा यार काटनी तो नहीं थी, यही वाली कॉल तो नहीं काटनी थी, पापा क्यों काटी। फिर उसके बाद मैंने लगा के दी। हम्म, मैं हो रहा हूँ अंधा, ये ना मेरे को दिख नहीं रहा, शायद मैं सोया हूँ अभी। कभी कभी मेरे साथ ऐसा होता है कि सो के उठता हूँ ना तो मैं और अंधा हो जाता हूँ। भाई कांग कांग को देखने मजा आएगा, बहुत टाइम से नहीं देखा कांग कांग को, क्योंकि वीसीटी चाइना तो मैं देख ही नहीं रहा था, पता नहीं था। अब कमेंटर नहीं समझ आती यार इनकी, इंग्लिश में होती नहीं है, तो इसलिए देखा भी नहीं था। देखते कैसा, एफपीएक्स भी आई है ना। एफपीएक्स पहले भाई उसमें थी, भाई ईयू रीजन से वहां चली गई है ना, मतलब एक एसएमबी भी थी पता है, पहले देखते हो ना, एसएमबी भी हुआ करती थी। तो VLRG। हाँ। हम्म। भाई यार दिखा दो जल्दी, क्या कौन कौन खेल रहा है। रिब्रू का भी है, इसमें देखेंगे ना। ऑटम पिछली बार था नहीं था, ऑटम अपने उससे तो नहीं लिया, नहीं। ये इनका नया रोस्टर है, पिछले साल गया था, दिखता है कहाँ से दिखता है इसमें, लास्ट ईयर। मैं कैसे पे यार, फास्ट मैच 23, ये इसमें पता लगेगा पिछले साल कौन था। नई टीम है क्योंकि शायद ये तो, वे भाई, अबे अबे यार 2000, मैं भी ना क्या देख रहा हूँ। मैं भी वही सोच रहा हूँ, ऑटम तो इंडियन टीम में था। मैं मैं भी तो वही सोच रहा हूँ, मैंने भी यही बोला मेरे, ऑटम। अरे ये क्या है, थ्रेड क्यों खुल गई। ओए आ गए, हेलो। ऑटम इंडिया, ऑटम गॉड्स में था हाँ, बढ़िया खेलता था। आगे भाई। और यार इनसे बहुत डर लगते हैं मेरे को। पता नहीं, नरेट भाई तो अलग ही खेलते हैं। इसमें पोल किस डालते हैं। आ गए भाई, आ गए। अबे भाई, भाई ही इज द मेकर भाई, ही इज द मेकर। गोटेड वो लगता है ये यार, एक मूवी है वैसा दिखता है ये। तुम्हें भी रिजेंबल हो रहा होगा, मैं ना नाम नहीं याद कर पाता। मैं मुझे नाम नहीं याद आ रहा भाई, कैसा दिखता है, बट ये दिखता है एक के जैसा। भाई कारमाइन कॉप का तो बेस्ट कमबैक था। इस बार वो नहीं हुई क्या, जो ओपनिंग सेरेमनी होती है, या मैंने मिस कर दी। ना इनका गाना है अभी तक, बढ़िया गाना निकालते हैं हर साल। केसी केसी भाई, वो एक सेकंड, और अबे कैसे करते हैं। ओ मुझे वो डालना है पूल, बट मेरे को डालना नहीं आ रहा। पता नहीं, छोड़ो, एक एक करके सीखेंगे, अभी के लिए नाइट बोट काफी है यार। वो किसी की तरह दिखता है यार, पता है इसकी वजह से। अच्छा वो समझ गया, अबे यार एक वो है इन्फ्लुएंसर, थोड़ा सा वैसा सा बॉडी टाइप है इसका। अबे आइस बॉक्स है भाई, फेवरेट मैप है मेरा ये तो। आज तो देखते हैं भाई मैग्नम भाई की। भाई बंदा फनाटिक से सीख के चला गया सब कुछ, फनाटिक को हरा दिया। भाई म्यूइंग कर रहा है, म्यूइंग करते रहना चाहिए। देख मैं तो कॉम देख के बताऊंगा कि कौन जीतेगा पहला राउंड। ओए पहले डिफेंस है ना इनका। भाई गेको यूज होने लग गया है, गेको ज्यादा यूज होने लग गया है, अब सब यूज कर रहे हैं गेको। दोनों देख, ईयू में अच्छा कॉम्पोजिशन होता है यार। अबे भाई केसी जीत जाएगी ये तो, केसी जीत जाएगी, केसी जीतेगा, मैच भी केसी जीतेगा। अबे डबल ड्यूलिस्ट है, डबल स्मोकर, और अबे भाई किसने खेला था, एक वो खेलती ब्लीड ही थी, ब्लीड भी डबल ड्यूलिस्ट खेलती थी, सेज बफ भाई। सेज बहुत इरिटेटिंग है, अगर बढ़िया खेल रहा, खेल तो ऑफ कोर्स बढ़िया ही है, वही है देखना पड़ेगा कैसे खेल रहे हैं, कहाँ पे खेलेगा क्या करेगा। बी पे बहुत स्ट्रांग है, ए पे भी, ए मतलब एक साइड ब्लॉक हो जाती है बट दूसरी साइड, बट बी पे तो बहुत ही बढ़िया है सेज, आगे का फॉरवर्ड का वो डालते रहो। क्या कहते हैं स्लो, अब कोई कुछ नहीं कर पाता इतना। गेम लैब्स का सही हो गया भाई, वैलोरेंट ने बड़ी प्रमोट कर दिया इनका, दोनों ने एक दूसरे को बढ़िया प्रमोट कर दिया। चलो भाई स्टार्ट होने वाला है, मैं तो एक्साइटेड हूँ। स्विच स्टेज, अबे स्विच स्टेज है क्या? मेरे को लगा ग्रुप स्टेज है। देखो गया। नाइस। सेज जिंदा है, सेज नहीं दे दिया होगा, बी जाएंगे अब। हाँ बी जा रहे हैं। हम्म। ओफो, स्मोक की टाइमिंग भाई। अबे क्या, कितना डीप स्मोक दिया भाई। नाइस यार, मैं तो देखा ही नहीं तो। अबे मर कैसे गया? अच्छा वहां से, ओ भाई। मैं देख वो वहां पे था। सैड। भाई लाइनअप पे खेल रहा है, कुछ कर पाएगा? हार गया राउंड क्योंकि मॉली का लाइनअप ही गलत था। बोला था ना। अच्छा मैप पे है क्या कैम? अरे रुक जा रुक जा। अरे वीडियो, अरे ये सब बताना पड़ेगा, रुक जा। अबे इस तरफ कर लेता हूँ। अब ठीक है। हाँ ठीक है ठीक है, ये ठीक है। ये भी कैसे ही जीतेगी राउंड। ये तो जीती जाएगी यार। बट भाई डर लगता है, कुछ टीम ना बहुत अच्छा खेलती है सेकंड राउंड हारने के बाद भी। और मैं हर बार हारता हूँ, तुमने देखा है मैं तो हर बार हारता हूँ सेकंड राउंड। कभी नहीं जीता, चाहे कोई भी सिचुएशन हो। ये देखो, अरे भाई यही कह रहा था मैं, हार नहीं भाई मत हारना। ओए गेको मर गया। नाइस 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 नाइस। अबे रीजन फॉर शॉर्ट अटेंडेंस में लिख दो आई वाज स्टडिंग। ऐसा कुछ पता नहीं। आई वाज सिक फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, पता नहीं। आरसीबी 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 आरसीबी। भाई स्नोमैन पे बैठ के खेलो, स्नोमैन गोटेड, सबसे सबसे गोटेड जगह है स्नोमैन। भाई वहां से मौली कुछ भी फेंकते रहो, सब जाता है। एक किल मिलेगा ना, ये भी जाएंगे। बट अभी नहीं है। अगर एक किल नहीं, मतलब एक किल नहीं मिला तो ये चले जाएंगे पक्का। बाय बाय। भाई लाइक कर दो, लाइक कर दो, लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब कर दो यार। हम्म। तो बर्लिन एंड का आइडिया। बोल देना ही जाएंगे, तुम्हारे भाई को पता होता है। ओए भाई, अबे हक दिया मी भाई। नहीं मार्टिन भाई क्या कर रहे हो? आप ऐसा खेलोगे तो मैं तो फिर चलो कहीं स्टैंड करता हूँ। देखो रीना निकाल सकती है। ओ नाइस, डुएबल डुएबल डुएबल। प्लांट करना है, प्लांट करना है। नो 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 फ्लिक, हार गया। प्लांट करता, प्लांट करता, नहीं भाई प्लांट करता। उसको प्लान कर देना चाहिए था। नाइस यार लाइव वाइपर। टॉमजिक अगेन क्लचिंग।
That's a tragedy for FPX early on. Obviously, economy down a peg or two, so going to be working with some
मैं भी काम ही कर लूँगा।
life going to be after
खाने भी जाना है, इस मैप के बाद खाने जाऊँगा, तब तक
fairly explosive
खाओ
here over
करके
towards
आयो,
the top of B. Aeon
फिर काम करो साथ साथ।
vault online. It would be a really large investment early on before you've managed to create a pick for yourself.
प्लांट
Smoke's finally back online now to
हम्म,
citizens onto the site. Might press the advantage and push things back.
ये भी केसी जीतेगा राउंड।
Control here. Carmen Core happy to play this retake. A lot of focus being
अच्छा
put
इस पे
on
एडिट है,
Magnum, where Magnum managed to pick up 2 on the pistol.
लेट्स सी,
Spot perhaps.
बट केसी जीतेगा ये भी।
We'll see now as wingman.
ओ वो क्लियर नहीं हुआ।
Player or two. Berlin
हाँ, हो गया
with
हो
the
गया।
initial kill, but not enough to get the
ही
second
है
down.
तो
Over the bridge. Where's the expectation of it? No, he was dropping down, but not enough bullets in the clip to really finish him off. 3v3. His life
लाइफ टू
really
कॉन्फिडेंट
the
में।
advantage potentially there. It's traded back and forth. It's Narrate versus Ayang. Narrate comes up with the goods. Rifle
टोल
shots
लिया
to
ब्रो,
get the
टोल लिया
job done.
बेटे। अब तक 4 आउट ऑफ 4 हो गई है मेरी प्रेडिक्शन।
That one had danger in it. It absolutely did. But Carmen Core still managed to forge their way up to 4. FPX deciding not to invest Aang's ultimate into that round, where perhaps it could have made the difference. It did end up being fairly close. Frankly, if Autumn even gets that kill,
मोली गलत कर दिया उसने। ओए सही था,
dodgy.
पता नहीं,
I gotta say,
बड़ा था।
while Carmen Core are up 4-0, this is not the same level of clinical play that we saw from them in EMEA when they were making that run. There's a lot of conversation about, because we've seen so many unexpected teams make it to Masters Madrid, with so many rookie players as well ascending to this premier level of the game, are people going to adapt to the stage quickly? If you have some nerves, how do you play through it? It feels like it's a little touch and go at the moment for Carmen Core, but they have to be able to get the bottom line in these rounds. Aside for FPX, you've got to remember, FPX are a team, this is their 3rd time getting to a global event. They've only ever been able to take one map at a global event before, and that was against the old Carmine Core when they played first time at Lockheed. It was a 2-1 victory in favor of Carmine Core, and that was the old, Melons lineup. That wasn't the Madrid clean, clinical Carmine Core that we've come to expect after their running kickoff. Well-honed squad, and to just touch on that rookie point as well.
पीछे पीछे आ रहा है।
One of the youngest rosters I think we've got. They are, yeah. Some of them do have that international experience. You see Magnum up there towards the top, managed to find that hole in the pistol round and has been very consistent so far on the defense side for his team. So we get to see another rifle round here, starting to get up towards some big ultimates too. Narrate and Magnum's ults in particular going to be excellent on the retake as Narrate takes first contact and wants to hunt for more. He's not scared, is he? No, Shin was holding up towards the belt, so he had angles covered.
डैमेज कहाँ से पड़े सर?
Even off for just a moment as Aang's head poking below, but I don't believe they caught any whiff of the jet stuck in that corner. I say stuck, hiding. He's got a starting a trap. To get out. Lovely position to play in. FPX quite like what they were seeing just from cutting the noise there. They show a bit of that presence just initially, now making their way over towards B. Contact reclear, is that what's going to be called here? Certainly looks like it. The same kind of B end with that double.
बी पे रीटेक, ये रीटेक सेटअप ही खेल रही है, ऐसी फाइट नहीं ले रही है। मतलब ए पे एक फाइट लेके पीछे यूटिल स्पैम कर रही है, ऐसे ऐसे खेल रही है। और बी पे रीटेक कर रहे हैं सेटअप लगा के मिड का कि कोई क्रॉस ना करे। अबे भाई कूद के तो बहुत तेज चलता है। अबे अल्ट क्यों लगा रही है ये? नहीं भाई, मिड 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 लास्ट।
position. He was the insurance policy to save that rifle. Gutted as Carmen Cole get up to 5. Absolutely.
ये नई फोन है बे, बढ़िया लग रहा है। अच्छा वो वाले
Looking like they've got a
भाई,
idea of how they want to deal with this classic
तो बहुत बढ़िया नाइफ है यार।
FPX. Nobody is getting caught on sight. Smargy is just getting a kill by spamming a common angle where he's
अब पता है क्या होता है, मैं मेरे हिसाब से टॉम आजी पता है, मतलब वो जो रेना है उसको सबको मारेगा, बट टॉम आजी से जब उसकी फाइट होगी ना, या वो क्लच सिचुएशन में होगा, तो वो टॉम आजी से हारेगा ही हारेगा। रेना मेरे साथ तो यही होता है बहुत ज़्यादा। ओ कौड़ी 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 कौड़ी।
There's always a little bit of danger when you allow your opponents to plant it. That you wouldn't be able to pull it off. Most teams, even the great ones, are only converting a third of their retakes. But these teams at this event are looking to try to change that. So this makes it feel
ऑटम भाई इंडिया में खेलते थे पहले,
towards B, but it's not a full commitment. In fact, they haven't used
अभी देखते हैं ऑटम भाई का करियर।
locked off the angle, so they're getting information the entire time. Magnum has just been egoing the angle.
ऑस्ट्रेलिया के लाए थे,
Martin ready.
अभी दिखाता हूँ। VLR और GG। क्वालिटी बढ़िया आ रही है। देखो अभी टोटल स्पैम करेंगे, अभी देखो 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 वहाँ रीटेक है, यहाँ पे अर्ली देख देख देखिए टोटल स्पैम, यही यही खेल रहे हैं, अभी यही सेटअप चल रहा है। ओ भाई गोटेड भाई, ये राउंड भी इनने निकाल दिया, प्लांट भी नहीं करने दिया। ये देख भाई मैं कहाँ आ गया एक तो। किसमें खेलता था पहले, ये रहा देख व्हाट इज, हाँ इसकी स्टार्ट बहुत बढ़िया थी इसमें। चल अब तो वो है, चेंज हो गया बाद में। ये देख कांची जैसे नहीं दिखता ये बंदा।
This is also the second timeout for FPX called already. So if we, framing this in the context of FPX trying to get this revenge matchup against a Carmichael that's retooled so heavily, looking for a potential good beginning to Madrid, this is a disaster. They had their chances early on in some of these rounds, but the later that this is going, the less and less chance it looks like they're getting as Carmichael polish things up a little and get comfortable, get into the groove. Down 0-6 without any timeouts remaining. If they don't end up winning this rifle round that we're about to watch, it's a disaster zone. Could be dire. I mean, they are quite literally running their heads into a brick blue wall right now. They cannot find a way through. Now, are they going to get conditioned? You can see elements of it from Carmichael again. Like I was saying before, they weren't playing anybody up close towards B. They've got Martin.
Up आ गई। Setup change। अभी भी रीटेक ही खेलेंगे वहाँ पर।
But they haven't heard the dash. They know that Martin has not left that in a hurry. There they hear the shot from the operator, and Martin's going to bait that out, make it feel like he's still there, and try to anticipate this attack side rotate that Berlin is calling. Yeah, and he is. He's already called it for the rotation.
फिर से खेल गए केसी वाले। हे ये क्या हुआ?
Guess what, Martin? Again, one step ahead.
भाई इनके मैप पे इनको इतना बढ़िया खेल रहा है यार वो। मार्टिन भाई कर दो। नरेट को एम में आना बहुत मुश्किल है यार। क्या हो गया ब्रो?
वॉच पार्टी चल रही है। देख कौन रहा है तुझे? मैं देख रहा हूँ तेरे को। दो व्यूअर। भाई क्या वॉच पार्टी है यार।
कोई नहीं जाना।
बढ़िया भाई।
जाना नहीं
कंग्रेचुलेट कर रहा हूँ।
जाना। Leered.
Rinses them both before FPX can use them to get into the site and then
शैम्पूर गया है ये तो।
kills afterwards. FPX are getting pasted. And I think it's a really interesting idea, right? This is one of our most one-sided matchups you could possibly see at the tournament on paper. But what does the parity look like? Everybody was saying, you know, anyone can win Madrid. There are chances for even these teams to be able to make upsets.
Even Magnum himself, you know, coming into this, they're not going to make a mistake with prior teams. You know, maybe they turn up to these tournaments, they expect to have a freebie, an opening match that just is so one-sided. But Course still showing him respect.
Absolutely. Yeah, Magnum said, quote, if I had to rate FPX in terms of macro, I think they have a lot of gaps. And then he said, but it's Valorant. Anyone can lose. Martin, under pressure though.
Yeah, Dizzy in his face though, it does fade away. Absolutely cool. Autumn will shut down a counterpart. Damage done but no kill collected. Smokes at some point surely going to be fading. How are they going to get this spike down? They really don't have any options.
Hop आ गई।
That's a huge one. Yep, a gap available with that op drop down. Autumn picks it up. Acquiring that upgrade. Now we can really just see if he can hunt for any more kills. Now this is a player advantage for FPX.
बट ये ऑपर को मारेंगे इससे।
Question is now how do Calm and Court approach it? Dizzy round to the back.
ओ भाई।
Players all over the place. Thrash to lead the charge. Entertainment there. Shin round to the side but doesn't expect
Nice.
and there it is. Okay, a round on the board for FPX.
बट इसको ये उस तरफ चल ठीक है, मतलब उस तरफ से पुश करना चाहिए था।
Martin has been caught out in a number of these more aggressive positions. And this is the opening. He had a chance trying to take the timing, but then Autumn also finding this pick onto Tamashi over in Snowman. That sets up the player advantage. And FPX are finally able to capitalize.
कूद क्या है मैग्नम? मैग्नम को फिगर बढ़िया लगता है मेरे को स्प्लिट में।
Into a little bit of momentum and make it less of a one-sided matchup.
They would love to. Now, back into the action, you're seeing it. Line in the sand drawn in terms of the skirmish.
Berlin has the operator.
The operator, yeah, and he's TP close.
Yeah, of course your IGL Omen has the op. Angel emote.
Now an attempt for them to try and get themselves into the side wall.
ओह नाइस। ओ भाई नाइस एग्जीक्यूट, नाइस एग्जीक्यूट। अभी तक बढ़िया करा है। अब रिटेक देखना, यूटिल स्पैम आएगी अभी देखो। भाई भाई नाइस। बट अटैक साइड में आता है। नाइस नाइस। ऑटम फ्लरिशिंग भाई। इंडिया में खेला भाई, तुम्हें ये लगता है ये खेलेगा बढ़िया? ओए मैंने आज वो वाली पहन रखी है टी शर्ट अपनी, क्वांटा वाली। मैंने अब देखा। भाई बहुत प्रेशर है, शक्ल पे दिख रहा है।
Very aggressive, but Martin hasn't been able to do too much from these extremely aggressive positions. He's the danger in the round. The rest of KC mostly playing for a little bit of plant pressure and then the retake. Martin's been the dice that they roll to see whether he can find value. And this time, just missing the timing of FPX, who've all gone into B.
भाई इन पे सोवा नहीं है क्या?
Clear and Dizzy all comboed up. Smokes to get himself into the deeper angle. Autumn, he's here.
ओ भाई अब ऑप लगाया है। ओ नाइस भाई
Autumn, he's got the operator.
भाई
Down two potential positions. Shin, he's taken up.
नाइस।
Berlin to be played in that angle.
दिमाग तो बहुत है यार देखो सब में, बट
Yeah, and it's a spot where Autumn can't actually hold for Berlin.
यहाँ पे कैसे फिर गया?
It's a bit of a freebie there, actually. Coming to win it. That's decent damage there, actually.
Diligence being shown with the util to clear through most of this.
KC have a wall to work with.
वही चांस था मरा।
What a
Ooh.
return, Ayang goes straight there. And here it is, the town of life. Walkout set.
Great away from
अटैक साइड मैप है, रुक जाओ अटैक साइड मैप है, तुम्हें पता नहीं है।
that he's in a position where he's still going to be able to get picks over the top of the wall. FPX holding on in these post-ban situations. I mean, Ayam, it's like lining up a shot with Martin and Tomashi's right behind. FPX going from 0-7 to winning 3 rounds in a row with the potential to make this quite a competitive half.
Yeah, you wouldn't think it. You would not think it if you were only tuning in for the beginning, but they have the chance. Slow warp. Used to your Shin feeling in danger now.
अटैक साइड मैप बगना पड़ा यार।
Actually, that bouncing into that wrong angle. Martin can't evacuate. Can he stand this?
नाइस ओ नाइस भाई।
The answer is no.
अब ये पता है क्या कर रहे हैं? इनको पता है क्या कहते हैं, जब यूटिल आएगी देवतनु हेलो भाई हेलो, लाइक कर दो, लाइक शेयर कर दो, लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब कर दो, यही बता दो कैसे हो। तो इनको क्लियर करना है क्लोज, क्योंकि जहाँ पे यूटिल आएगी ना पहले। ओ नो इसके बाद इस मैप के बाद होगा। अरे कुछ नहीं, वो जहाँ पे यूटिल प्रेशर बनाते हैं ना अगर, तो वहाँ पे ही खेल रहा है मार्टिन आगे, वो यही कर रहे हैं, तो अब क्लियर कर रहे हैं हर एक एंगल ताकि वो मर जाए, यही कर रहा है अभी तक तो। मतलब रीड है इनकी, समझ गए ये। अरे ताकि साइट में ना आए ब्रो।
Looking to work it out, moving over towards A. Martin once again alone on A, tucking himself into these aggressive, unexpected positions.
अभी फिर से क्लोज क्लियर होगा, फिर से होगा।
have been able to either dodge or deal with it.
कच्ची कच्ची कर दे भाई मार्टिन भाई, कच्ची कच्ची। यार प्रिज्म फैंटम तो आई गोटेड। ओए 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 गया, सैड।
No possibility of that being rezzed.
It's now being offloaded down towards the top of the box. Just spotting.
उसको पता ही नहीं कि वो देख सकते हो उसको वहाँ से।
Berlin's called into mid-flank.
Now the ult online.
अरे सुन डीसी पे आजा, बट इधर से ही देख ले, मैं वहाँ म्यूट कर लूँगा तो फिर ना, नहीं तो डिले लगेगा तुम्हें, मैं फिर ऐसे जल्दी तुम्हें 2-3 सेकंड का।
This one. They realize at least now that the lockdown is down, but they
हाँ हाँ नेक्स्ट मैप में आ जियो, क्योंकि अभी खाना खाने जाऊँगा ना। क्योंकि ब्रो भाई नरेट का एम भाई डिफ्यूज पे छोड़ देगा सामने। ओ पीछे पीछे अब चला गया। नहीं 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 हार गया। हाँ 100 में फिनिश। भाई बहुत अच्छा एम है नरेट का, मैं तो पीक नहीं कर सकता कभी नरेट को। लेट्स गो। अभी इंडिया में खेलता था ये, गॉड रेंज में ऑटम है ये। चाइना में चला गया था खेलने पे, उसको चाइनीज टीम ने उठा लिया, फिर ये वो हो गया। हाँ वही है ये, मैं देख के पहले वही सोच रहा था, ये तो अपने इंडिया में खेलता था
चैंपियंस भी खेल रहा है इतना
मास्टर्स में। हाँ चाइना से पहुंच गया इजी में।
चाइना में तो वैसे ही इतना वो है भाई,
कांग कांग भाई,
हार्ड कंपटीशन, ऐसे से ज्यादा कंपटीशन है भाई उधर। होता नहीं, पोहा बना दे, पोहा खा लो।
हम्म पागल पागल है भाई।
And for FPX, I think the adaptation was really good. In these post
अबे भाई वो मार्टिन को वहाँ पे अभी, अबे मत बोल बस। हाँ पागल। अरे वो तो अभी कोई नहीं।
तो उससे पहले
हाँ पागल।
ऐसा बच्चे प्लेयर सब बढ़िया खेल रहा है।
बहुत ही बढ़िया भाई, कम बैक कर लिया 7-0 से 7-5 कर लिया वैसे, बट अटैक साइड है, अटैक साइड है। मैंने प्रेडिक्शन करना छोड़ा तब से जीत रही है, मैं जब तक कह रहा था तब सारे राउंड जीत गई केसी, उसके बाद मैं चुप हो गया, उसके बाद एक भी सारे राउंड आ रही है। स्क्रीन को निकाल दिया उन्होंने। अरे भाई अब निकाल मतलब एक्सपायर कर दिया उसे। अरे भाई कर दिया तो कर दिया, मैं क्या करूँ।
टर्मिनेट बोल,
रेजिग्नेशन कर दी उसकी, उन्होंने कहा रेजिग्नेशन दे दो, रेजिग्नेशन दे दो, स्क्रीम की रेजिग्नेशन मार ली। स्क्रीम ने वन टैप स्क्रीम ने वन टैप मार दिया
फर्स्ट मैच में
सेज पे मास्टर्स 1।
और मेरा बहुत हो गई।
निवेरा क्यों रह गया, पर निवेरा कहाँ गया।
भाई भाई है ना,
ब्रदर ऑफ डिस्ट्रक्शन। अबे दोनों भाई तो वहां नहीं पहुंच पाए, मास्टर वो जो कोच हैं नावी और लिक्विड के, कोई भी नहीं पहुंचा। अबे स्मोक कौन करेगा ये पे। दोनों दो स्मोकर है, दोनों बी पे हैं। ओ भाई ये क्या है भाई, कितने स्मोक, क्या हो गया क्या हो गया। ओ ओ
Single-handedly, I mean, a man was basically alone. Now, how do you clear this one out? He saw to the side, lovely peek, off with the dizzy. That is a slam dunk finish.
too good
हाय।
in their
अरे भाई कमेंट मत, ये वाला फ्लैश कहाँ से आया पर, एक सेकंड रुक।
मूव ऑन हो रही है इसमें।
हे ब्रो ये कौन सा फ्लैश है उसने, रुकिए एक सेकंड। येलो वाला क्यों रखा है इनका। अच्छा येलो ही दिखता है क्या इसमें भी। निकलेंगे, मारेंगे मारेंगे, मार दिया मार दिया। सब आगे सब आगे, लड़ाई होगी लड़ाई होगी लड़ाई होगी, एक मारेगा मर गया। लड़ाई 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 होगी। आया है इसका इसका नाम आया है। हाँ आया है, कहाँ आया आया आया। अबे क्या नाम है भाई। आएंगे। अबे भाई बैकस्टेप 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 देख, बैकस्टेप 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 बैकस्टेप। अच्छा अच्छा सॉरी।
Nice try from good investment in trading systems and
आए आए तो नहीं, क्या नाम है, कह रहे आए आए। आयांग आयांग समझ गया, आयांग लाइफ।
But 7 in a row straight back for FPX means the game is tied here on Icebox.
He's set up now onto the bonus round.
a bonus for FPX and fullback for KC.
Two players survived in a prior round here.
अरे भाई भगा भगा 5 बंद। अरे भाई क्या हो गया, ये क्या हो रहा है,
Players they've got trying to play that forward.
पता नहीं क्या हुआ।
Not really accounting
ओबे पिटाई होगी पिटाई होगी पिटाई होगी थोड़ा बाहर हो गया मी व्हेन वुमेन
We were seeing from them all throughout
उधर करके
EMEA.
फेक टीवी
That's
करना
the
था
first round where you really see it exemplified here in
Yeah.
Icebox.
फेक टीवी करना था उधर टीवी करे कूद जाना नीचे वापस में टीवी हो जाता
Looks almost impossible.
So it's just going to be looking to do that.
Surely,
Damage.
surely here the streaks are broken.
मुझे पता नहीं ना
We don't see another.
देख यहाँ पे मैं इसको बता देता हूँ सुन यहाँ पे है
It's not even possible.
यहाँ पे यहाँ पे यहाँ पे और यहाँ पे यहाँ पे कोई नहीं है भाई गलत जगह देख रहा है इसको मैंने बता दिया अभी भी नहीं निकाल पाएगा भाई जाना जा जा पुश कर ऐसे
They really have
रैंक में होता है ना
shown that they're not willing to just roll over. in these
भाई गन की सेव कर रहा है जाके मारना यार
They certainly come into this one as the underdogs, but I had a chance to talk to Berlin before these games kicked off, and I asked him how much better do you think this version of FPX is compared to last year's. You were following this team in 2023.
अरे भाई
Okay, they looked all right. They were making it to some of the international events.
मुश्किल हो सकता है कभी कभी इस तरीके से ये लोग खेल रहे
Been a big player for them.
अचंभित कर रहे हैं
Berlin said 2.5 times better.
हारने के बावजूद एक और राउंड निकाला है
But he's a lot more confident. this
स्पॉन्सर्ड बाय
year
नॉटविन है भाई
in the last, when they were only able to get one map at 2 global appearances.
They've run the numbers. 2.5 times, maybe enough
भाई
to try and
कौन सी तैयारी करके आए हैं ये
cheeky play.
Cool idea.
All to boost themselves.
ओबे ओए पिटाई हो गई
Deals with the trespass.
गया
Well, there is the follow-up. Ayang.
आयांग
If Reddy saw the passerbys, only 3 players left.
मारी गई केजे मारी गई
Looks like a read to me that they were expecting Berlin,
ये टीम में लोग वाइपर को मिलके मार सकते हैं
both of those controller players for FPX fighting over B. They
धुलाई हो
I
गई
saw there who swung off the back of a paranoia that was extremely optimistic.
So damn aggressive though.
Willing to take the risks, aren't they? I mean, Ayang has just walked up all the way behind, and all of this in a player advantage situation where you don't need to force fights like this. It's a round winning or losing play.
3v4 है हो सकता है टाइमिंग हो गई अब नहीं हो पाएगा सॉरी टू से
Though I don't believe they know it yet.
सैंडविच कर दिया है रैपर हम आ गया पीछे
रैपर क्लास जावा में होती ब्रो
Opened at the gunplay, carried him through.
ये मॉक एंट्री वाले क्यों बोलते हैं भाई बैठ के
Behind him, no, not to the side, not expecting a player. Out
ये
towards
गोली
the
ही नहीं चल रही थी अभी ढंग
Still
से
not cleaned up. Spike though. Planted.
ये
2
गोली
players.
ओ पकड़ा गया
Over the top, Martin.
मार्टिन निकाल
Doing this.
कैसे जीत गए
That's outrageous.
अबे वो फ्लैश में मर गया
Caged up, no
रिवर्स
exits.
कार्ड के जब से 3v5
Utility
निकाला
being
है
used from the back as well, and Martin
ये
ducks Bob's
मुंह से
wings
निवारा
and picks
छीना
up
है FPX
3.
वालों
टमाजी ने सिर्फ रीना को मारा है अब तक 5 बार शायद
How have they done that? I mean, the first pick, lovely, but then this kill before getting.
भाई मैं वो ओमन मैं ही हूँ ये ओमन मैं ही हूँ स्टैंड अप भाई इसने बोला स्टैंड अप
सीख ले
Alright, fire with these calming skills in their first time on the big master stage.
मास्टर्स मेरे को बुलाया था तुम्हें पता
Gets players here.
तुम्हें पता नहीं है मेरे को बुलाया ओए ओए
Aggression showcased here by Martin.
रीना मार रीना मजा आया बैटल हो थोड़ी एम बैटल
Got his back live.
ओए ओए
You see, KC have no idea that that was
ये क्या था
A possibility. Yeah.
बैंडल ज्यादा शेरिफ से आउटपुट निकाला जा रहा है
अबे भाई कुछ भी हो रहा है मैच में तो
timing that FPX could have chosen for some aggression. You can see how the unexpected nature of how FPX players can catch teams off guard. Thus far, Martin in the last round and this has managed to bail it.
इसके बाद लाउड का है भाई साहब
Knives out. No gun. Watching for the mid aggression.
मैं फिर भूल गया लाउड किसके साथ है
Young, they should have some idea was over towards A earlier on. That Dizzy was used.
देख आए अच्छा आए हैं क्या मेरे को लगा वो है
Shooting's been
ओ बैगन
ओ बैगन ना
most
ये
likely the outcome here is that he just
Bag
goes
in.
down and gets a thrash online for the next.
आए
आए
This game has been so
ओपे इसने रोक लिया जीत गए
Only 30 seconds left.
आए
I don't see how
टम टम
it's able to convert.
क्या ये
And KC are going to be able to respond with 3 in a row after FPX
एक
got
हवा
set
खाते
to
हुए
tie it up.
अब चिल कर सकते हैं
Would you refer to this one as a back and forth game, Bren? Because
हवा वाली
technically,
टीम बहुत अच्छी है ये
जो टीम 2 मैच पहले हारती है ना
four,
वो बाहर हो जाएगी मतलब
it's going back again.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
16%.
By the technical
अगर तू 2 जीत गया,
yeah, but it really has not been
मतलब 2 जीतने से पहले तेरे को 2, अगर तू हार गया
round to round
तो
on
तू
this.
बाहर कर देंगे तेरे को ये लोग।
लोअर ब्रैकेट में
Very
चले
streaky.
जाओ।
इनने नहीं बाहर कर देना तेरे को,
very streaky.
भगा देंगे। हाँ, यहीं से भगा देंगे मैड्रिड से।
And tried to peek
मतलब
under
फॉर
the
एग्जांपल जैसे तू है,
would anticipate
तेरे को तो
it
वैसे ही
was
मिलेंगे,
by Tomashi very early on. But we'll see.
बट कोई एक्स प्लेयर है।
Yeah,
He
there's
gets
an
the
early
peek.
peek. Wow,
हमको पता है,
okay.
हमें पता है वो कौन सी
Tomlinson,
है।
Thrash.
अरे भाई
Used to see if they can clear and cleave their way into the
Consistently.
main.
गोटेड टीम है।
He's open to the window here. Look to see if he
ऊपर
brings
देख, ऊपर देख, राइट में देख। ओ, अरे भाई
आंखों के नीचे से निकल गए हैं उनके, आंख के
ये क्या हो रहा है, ये क्या हो रहा है?
ducking straight into the floor. Maybe it doesn't
पीएस की तरह नहीं करते, मॉडल भी मॉडल चेंज हो जाता है।
meantime.
Yeah,
Player
speaking
model.
about reflex,
भाई
Berlin in a player advantage situation again.
उसको लगा आगे चला गया, पीछे आ
to
गया।
make the play to win the round.
ये क्या हो रहा है?
Necessary, for sure.
हमारा रोटेशन
And Berlin
पूरी
does
की
get
किचन में
punished
चला
for
गया एक बंदा। देखो
कभी कहीं कुछ भी हो रहा है अभी।
He's gonna play for this one. Portion
ओए रिवाइवल
but
टोमाजी भाई का।
all good.
Yeah,
All
thankfully.
good.
Thankfully, Autumn wasn't watching that again.
देखा, सोवा होता अल्टा मार देता। पता ही नहीं है यार कॉम्पोजिशन कैसे लेते हैं। प्लेयर चेंज कर गया हो एकदम से, उसकी जगह वो सोवा लो। बीच राउंड में ऑप्शन होना चाहिए चेंज करने का एजेंट अल्ट। नया वो
गेम और खराब हो जाए, फोर्टनाइट बंदा है।
अरे भाई फोर्टनाइट तो चलो अलग ही है। भाई ओपन प्लांट क्यों नहीं दिया, ओपन प्लांट क्यों नहीं दिया भाई तूने?
For FPX to deny this one.
देख नरेट अगर फाइट लेगा ना अभी,
Really far behind and has missed the timing.
देखते देखा नरेट सबको मार देगा अभी। देख नरेट अकेला ही, ये देख, ये देख नरेट को है ही नहीं भाई, सबको मार देता है।
शर्म वरम नहीं है।
और इनिशिएटर ये वो खेलता है दूसरे, फिल करता है, फिलर है बंदा।
He lost players early on in the round. They weren't expecting the op to be on that sideline. It is
Team
entirely
big
possible
is
for the
there,
Viper to throw that mid line up
दूसरा भी नहीं
without
निकाला।
exposing any part of their body.
एकदम रॉ है।
But Autumn caught.
बंदे का 7 का मैच अभी स्ट्रीम कर दूंगा।
ओए 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 ओए
Ended up making a mistake.
भाई
when
तू पर्सन भी हो जाता है।
just opened the door.
अब मैं नरेट की तरह खेला करूंगा, सोच लिया मैंने 16:9 पे।
Narrate for Karmic War.
भाई एक स्ट्रीमर है, सुबह
One of
आता है
the
रोज।
North American imports over to EMEA has been
9:16 पे।
lighting the world up. He's been looking unbelievably good, but certainly one of those players that we don't know quite how they're going to perform when it gets to the Masters
Can
stage.
concentrate करना
And
होता है।
Berlin goes walkabouts again in this round.
They just expect it. It's happened so many times now.
नहीं एक ही चीज करते रहेंगे तो ऐसे ऐसे नहीं होगा।
Hilo said it, one player crouched in front of the other,
Yeah,
just waiting for the aggression.
very, very similar to what Berlin did in the previous round to lose them that player advantage
सबसे बेस्ट
situation.
राइड जो है वो पेनल्टी
FPX
में दिया
have
है।
got to be careful. They've clearly got
के
what it
दाएं से
takes to be
बॉलर
able
के
to
ऊपर
bring
आ
that
रही
in.
है।
हाँ ऊपर ना,
This is giving me flashbacks of the finals they played in VCT where
उन्होंने
they
भी करा था।
arguably should have beaten EDG and they let so many.
हाँ याद आ गया मेरे को। अरे भाई
Here comes Ayan with the play again.
वो तो बहुत बढ़िया स्ट्रेटेजी थी।
His hand still gets one kill.
फेवरेट थी ना।
Maybe setting up Autumn for a bit of
Favorite
success, but
strategy.
no, everybody cleaned up. Karma Core,
उसका एक इम्प्रोवाइज वर्जन लेके आए थे वो,
not even kicking with three of their players. Just
जिसमें
gonna
वॉल
try
ऑफ कर
and
देते थे और
out
रुक
there
जाते
is
थे।
life.
याद है मेरे को, आ गई याद।
वो
Life.
तोड़ था, वो स्ट्रैटेजी का तोड़ था।
Letting anything slip. Thrash there.
नाइफ होगा।
Next detained. Humiliation time on the
ओ
front.
भाई नाइफ कर दिया।
Karma Core up to
3
12.
बार मारे चक्कू, 3 बार।
Knife kill of Masters Madrid. Do they really count when you
भाई
get the
नरेट
first
यार
take?
बहुत बढ़िया
I think
खेलता है।
it is the disrespect.
नरेट और मार्टी की नहीं ऊपर है, अब देखो
Personally, don't think we should be recording
बहुत बढ़िया। मैग्नम दिमाग चलाता है, नरेट अपना एम पे मारता है और वही
This is
साथ में वो।
very well dealt with by
ये
KC.
देखो मार ही नहीं पा रहे भाई इसको।
Some moments where
फिर
they
डोंक है।
don't quite
हाँ
anticipate
डोंक है
what
ये।
FPX are gonna go for, but for the majority for the majority
एने
they
की
have
टीम है
got
ये।
this on lock. The anticipation of Berlin's push at the beginning of that round and the way they executed was immaculate. They're looking
जो
for
खाना
that
निकाल दे।
push again onto Tomaji. It's not there.
Not gonna get it.
Yeah, this time playing a little safer, doubling up with Magnum as well. KC, one round away, 5 chances of converting. Keep it clean.
Maybe their aim. Tuck to the corner. That's life. The initial
लाइव भाई मारेंगे, लाइव भाई ने एक मारा,
accurate enough to win that
साइड
fight
में
now.
जाएगा,
Dismiss
राइट साइड से पुश हो गया,
now underneath Rafters.
प्लांट छोड़ेगा। नरेट जिंदा है
Ready to try and
नहीं
hide and target rich environment.
यार।
Time, son.
एस हो गया पेलो। भाई
On his feet after that one too. If the KC players
Very
are trying to
typical
keep
Reina
them
play.
rooted in that
Typical
seat, they've well and truly failed in round
on the
20.
pay and spray.
24
Pray and spray.
kills. I mean, he's the only player that's actually able to evade the way that KC are playing, because he can get one, get out.
Nice
Most
repositioning by Reina.
awkward timings through all of their utility. Springs out of his seat. Almost, almost knocking
किलो
off
मैच
the
जीत गया
stage.
वो मास्टर जीत चुका है
शैम्पू करके आया लाइफ
Back into the fight.
गाल देखी उसकी
भाई वो बंदा अपने मास्टर जीत चुका है अपनी नजरों में
Back into the
कौन है?
action. Calm and cool. Slow and steady. It's their
Oh.
approach to begin.
अपनी नजरों में वो जीत चुका है मास्टर
You know how aggressively FPX
भाई
play,
एस ले लिया
and they do
24 किल पे है
duelist players. Dash still available. Dismiss there if like
अभी नाइफ हुआ था इससे पिछले राउंड में
exit strategies, but here we
Lead
look
कर दिया
at just
इनको।
holding.
यार क्या एम भाई नरेट को ही मारे जा रहे हैं वही तो है नरेट सबको मारता है ये नरेट को मार रहा है
हर डेविल के पीछे डेविल आपके पीछे
वही हो रहा है
अरे ये तो रिकर्जन हो गया
Massive ultimate. And they sneak it on underneath them. Light goes for the re-clear.
It's a dizzy. Still, it's traded. Magnum is there. On for the
Nice.
two-hit. Ayang drops down. Dash
Ayang.
there. Martins finds it. Forwards now. After the lockdown, it's 2v2. This could be it to seal the map. What is going to be the answer from FPX?
Walking out.
Holding it out. Hoping
Bye.
to punish, but no. It's granted the kill. And Berlin, the IGL. It's a 1v2.
साइड में कोई नहीं खेल रहा मैं ही बता रहा हूँ देख बाहर है
All on the line.
अंदर खड़े हैं साइड के
बाहर है 410 देख 410 410 देख मर गया जी जी बट बट होएगी देख अभी इस पे मुंह पे
Slightly into it, there was going to be a shorty ready and waiting. More smoke
अबे
used. Tap. Force them out into the open. No
बट
easy
बट हो गई
no easy exits. That is Calvin
तरका निकाल दे आजा
sealing it up. Nice and pretty for map number 1. 13-8.
A bizarre opening to Masters Madrid, but it had some great moments. FPX 7 out of 8 of their rounds taken in a
दिखा
streak.
क्या मैं चला
Absolutely. Was going to set it to a short break on the other side of things, of course. The continuation of the series. Don't go anywhere.
चलो आतो आतो आ गया मैच दिखा दे तो मैच दिखा दे
Trouble gives you wings.
Hey guys, Mika Fabs here, and I'm standing right now with Coach Eng of Carmen Card. Congratulations on that first map, the first map win of Valorant Masters Madrid. Now, of course, we saw FPX had that near comeback. So how did the boys keep their calm and how were they able to close it out? Let us know what's going on behind the scenes.
I'm not gonna lie, I didn't say anything, to be honest. I feel like we are ready, we prepared, and I know people don't understand, but FPX pretty decent team. They're really strong aimers, and yeah, it just I expected that they gonna shoot hard and hit hard. So yeah, it's kind of. But about us, yeah, I didn't say anything, to be honest. It's just all like props to our teams and you and Ahmed. They prepared them also. The mentally wise, that's yeah, we are ready. So I don't know. I'm just happy we won.
Full trust in the team, gotta love it. Let's hope that Carmen Card can close it out in map 2.
Oh, if N is happy, I am happy. What a start it is for Casey here at Masters Madrid. I'm your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Mimi and Kakuka. It was a great start, and Kakuka, and also a very convincing way for Casey to close it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's also not the fact only that they managed to get that first win here at Masters, it's the fact that they managed to mentally reset for what was happening on the server. I think that Eng was very right. FPX can shoot very hard. Like the rounds that Live was having, how they were just pushing onto them and doing this kind of things we were talking about before, how they thrive in the chaos. It is something that Casey had to overcome and did.
Yeah, they absolutely did. I think they looked really good in that second half with their game plan on how to shut down the aggression that even on the defense is being brought out by FPX. It's kind of hard to get that initial bit of space and punish people who have pushed up when you only have that Gecko, but I think they play around that one piece of utility, even though you can't combo it with another flash very well. For me, that second half was a showcase of just how strong Casey's fundamentals are.
Yeah, Mimi, let's take a look at round 18 because not many people can deal with K-Core's pressure, and unfortunately FPX couldn't do that either.
Yeah, not many, including FPX in this game, like you say. But this round was pretty cool for me, the way that KC are scaling together into this site, and also I think it's a showcase of how FPX's comp really does show some weakness. Running no Senti on this map means that if you're hard
Look at where Magnum is.
rotates, which you kind of need to when you have this initiator comp where you're trying to set up those combos, you leave gaps like this, and Magnum was just taking advantage of this.
Yeah, exactly. And if you combine it with a narrate that was extremely explosive and just going in for the kills, he said that he wanted to pick when he got to Madrid, so he's definitely doing so. And I love that we have this stats for him. We were talking about the versatility, the feeling comfortable, and I think that this was a perfect showing for him.
It absolutely was. He said he was just gonna swing everyone at this event,
Mimi,
and you saw
take the fine. Take the fine.
He did swing in this one. I think that when KC is willing to, in the late rounds, take a little bit of that risk and let him go crazy when he's feeling it is really good and adds an extra dynamic to this team.
I mean, this is the thing. He does this on Gecko. He will do this on Fade, as we see him later. Which version of Narrate do you guys think is the final boss of the Narrates?
I really like his Gecko.
I'm on the Gecko train, but I'm a big fan of Gecko.
It's so hard to play Gecko solo initiator.
Yes.
He does it so well.
Yeah, exactly. I think that he has a very good balance on how to support the team, how to go on those more aggressive plays, because he's the kind of player that can do it and will do it without shaking or having like second guesses. When we see him moving around the map and taking the right covers and making the right choices, everything is very well wired in his head. So I think that is why I like the Gecko, and also because he can just like
do it. You have to do the voice. It's too good. Wait, also
she's actually the voice actor.
But I'm actually Carnalito.
Yeah, can you please share that, because I feel like it's a way better name than Wingman.
Carnalito, yeah. It's not even the Spanish one. It's in Latin America. They call it little boy Carnalito, and he's very cute.
Carnalito.
Carnalito.
I vote that we only call him that from now on.
I'm ready for it.
Carnalito. But we do have a Narrate here. Can you believe it? Warming up in the Aim Lab shoot around. I need his sense. I need his game sense. Everything. You know the meme how it goes, because he's able to perform EMEA on LAN, and it's great to see that Mimi, he's also able to perform on a global stage already as well.
He just had to get out of an A.
Oh!
He was good.
He was getting held back. He was getting held back.
It was actually... he is what your ranked teammates want to be, in that he needed the right team, right?
Yeah.
He can probably.
Honestly, he needed Eng. I think that there is a lot of similarities between the case of Narrate and some other players in KC. And for example, Alpha Year. People might not remember, but there was this moment where Alpha Year was just 16, just picked up by Fnatic and just performing the way that he was because of the coach that he had. And probably in another environment, Alpha would not be where he is today. But going back to Narrate, love the fact that he's feeling this comfortable, that he has this sassy personality outside and inside the game, and he can bring it to the international stage.
He absolutely can. And we've talked a lot about the coaches today, but I think you have to credit the IGLing of this team as well. Magnum played with Fnatic right at the very beginning, famous for the ill-fated Sky Flash at the end of Reykjavik. But since then, he's been grinding down in Tier 2. He's a name that I think a lot of people had forgotten. But now he comes back in with this KC roster and is absolutely a pivotal part of this system they built. We saw some great adaptation and mid-rounding on that map, and I think you can credit a lot of that to this guy Magnum.
Yeah, this is the thing. People people forget that he was never IGL before. He only started IGLing on this team. I also love a moment we had in EMEA where N called attack pause when they were like 11-1 up, and he did that a lot back in Gander. And we asked him, "You're 11 up, why are you calling attack pause?" And he's like, "Look, I want us to close out the game, and I heard Magnum make a call, and it was just the wrong call. I had to step in and be like, Magnum, look, I appreciate what you're doing, but you should not be doing that. You should be doing this." And he also said that as time went on, he's had to do that a lot less. His trust in Magnum has grown a lot over the kickoff period, and given the fact, I don't think they called a single timeout, right? I don't think.
No, I mean that's what Eng was saying.
Yeah,
in the interview, right? He was
if he's hearing the right thing.
Magnum must have been saying all of the right things.
Many people might think, yeah, after you lose so many rounds in a row, why didn't you call a tech pause? Eng is hearing everything, and if he feels that the right calls are being made, and to every problem they're already thinking about to fix it for the next round, you don't really need to call that tech pause. Do you think that your team is going to be a little bit thrown off the game? You don't want to interfere too much. You think that first attack pause was enough? Why do it again?
I think you also have to remember that those pauses also give your opponent a chance to talk to your coach. I think we've heard from like Mini before that sometimes he wouldn't call pauses because he trusts his IGL more than the opponent's IGL.
You were talking about Fnatic, guys.
You were going to say he trusts the other coach more. I thought you were going to say that.
No. But it is something to think about always, of like that trust in your IGL. Once you build it up, it means you can save those pauses for that perfect moment. And I mean, right now, I don't think that game ever fully got out of hand for KC. They started losing those 3-4 rounds in a row, but the last round, they turn it back around, they fix it, and then go into the second half quite strong.
Yeah, and he didn't need to talk to his players, but his players were giving it on the server. Take a look at this. That's some trash talk from the last
guys, some smiles in your faces.
Hey, play the game, play the game.
So it's just for Mazzy.
Tomasi, by the way, another youngster. If you remember seeing him last year in we had to do it. It was completely different, right? I think that the environment that they have created, how they're living everything on stage.
Oh, Mazzy, over
So I watched some of the Carmen Core vlogs this week.
Did we get some viewing from Martin already? Not yet?
No.
It will be there.
I really thought we could go a long time without bringing that up here.
No.
I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen it yet.
I'm disappointed in both of you, but what I'm not disappointed in is what I was saying with Tomezi being such a great emotional leader. But we're into the agent select here already. Carmen Core, we saw them play the Fnatic comp and beat Fnatic. But for FPX, this is one of those maps where they pull out the chamber ban.
Yeah, exactly. Funny enough, even though KC has a very good record on this map, this has never been their choice. This is the first time that they actively choose this as their battleground. It was always like either the third map or something that other teams picked up for them in EMEA. Even with that, I think this is the map that shows perfectly and more exactly how good they are on the retakes and how the protocols are perfectly sharp, because of course with 3 sides things change, and they also change when you have a chamber on the other side. Not very popular in EMEA.
Absolutely. This comp, beyond just the chamber, has a solo Gecko initiator, which I think is a lot harder to make work on this map. If you go for hard execs, that Dizzy gets broken, which honestly, map 1 KC was doing a great job at. If they can continue to do that, I think they can really punish this dive player. This is an opportunity for KC to close in 2.
Yeah, well, things are going to get a little bit harder for FPX here. It will be KC's map choice, and it's time to send it back to your casters. Here's Bren and Sideshow.
Thank you very much, guys. Yeah, let's get to it then. Map number 2. In for Carmen Core versus FPX. I mean, listen, map 1 was an interesting one, to say the least. I mean, very streaky in terms of the rounds with Carmen Core. You've got to expect You know, these guys are phenomenal on Lotus. It's a map that they've taken, you know, many a strong team to. They look really primed in this map. They have a ton of great ideas. But now, you know, how are they going to be dealing with FPX, especially Life on the Chamber? This guy has been a standout in the past, and now he's going to be looking to do a little bit more. There's a smoke here. Haunts dealt with, taken care of. TP back with a rendezvous, but, well, Lysol just trying to help out his teammate.
Yeah, bit of a strange decision, actually, because Life already had the exit with the rendezvous. Just looking to try to find a timing. Now they're headed into Magnum's setup, where the turret is going to take contact. And this Viper wall, previously used by teams like Loud on this map, going to allow KC a really nice C retake.
You can see from Magnum's setup here with the nano swarms. I mean, it's just to make sure they can't cross past the wall, buys time for the rotates. Here now, the spike's going to be planted. Nice shot onto the target. The fight into the back of the site. They're not clearing the corner. Half clearance still. Autumn snaps it back around again. They want to really just take the fight in a battle. Straight to them, FPX. Are not messing around. Shin. So much to do. Doubled up, stacked up. They give him a freebie. 3 kills now. But a 1v2 and 17 health to do it.
Almost impossible. He doesn't have very much information about where the others are positioned. And Life, the Sheriff just watching this smoke. Gonna put it down.
Yeah, double set up there, high, low, and Karmakor not quite ready there for the aggression, at least a second wave of things.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looked like they were ready for the aggression, if anything. I mean, Narrate is tucked into the corner, has his pick, should have been able to pick off Autumn. Oh, that glance behind. And yeah, it's just the fact that Narrate isn't able to hit the go shots to be able to pick up a couple of them there in that split second. But certainly, I mean, to your point, FPX pushing so deep. They were taking a fight against Shin and Spawn, basically. And if that's the adaptation that they use, going from map 1 to map 2, to keep trying to fight Karmakor at all times, never allow them to set up for the retakes, I think that's a very good strategic idea.
Works well, it really does.
And you said as well earlier, Brenda, Karmakor have got a lot of experience on Lotus. They feel very comfortable there. The desk was talking about that too. But they've also played mostly against more meta compositions and relying on having a great understanding of how those work, the timings those take, the utility that they throw. They had very good specific anti-strats in EMEA too. This FPX team does not play conventional Valorant. No. And the composition shows that, but also the way that they run it shows that too. And it's going to be a little harder for KC to get a read on.
KC showed her hands, really, that the stack is over towards A, forcing the pivot now in towards B. Having to stop this. I saw back position, almost asleep at the wheel there. Needs to call for reinforcements and backup here to try and play this crossfire. Set up, Bulldog singing true. Finding their marks, very wide face, but the second shot of the Outlaw is enough to shut that one down. So should be very clean and clinical round here for FPX. Second one now for them.
And it's also close to getting Ayoung's ult online, so I would assume he's going to try to chase. Berlin snipes it, steals it for his first ult point. Don't worry, we don't need the Gecko ult anyway, I suppose, as we head into the bonus round. It would have been nice to have it online. Still possible, of course. Ayoung might get it for post-plant here, with something like an ult or pickup and a plant. But KC, the war machine, starts to rumble. Tomashi picks up the Odin.
One enemy remaining.
This team as well, Karmakor. Warbang lineups. I mean, you're seeing FPX as well take a turn with it as well, initially in the prior round, but now we're getting started. Just trying to punish that peak. You can hear the shoulder just sticking out of Life. He goes for another one.
Very bold, very confident. He was dominating in the individual fights when it came to Icebox, so I can respect that level of confidence. But KC, punishing him there. And despite the fact that there were 3 players from FPX defaulting over towards Mound at the beginning of the round, they don't actually have any control there. Double smokes, and Ayoung's Dizzy has had to be used twice already in the round just for Mound control. So they're still 10 seconds away from using that in any kind of push into C.
Shin smokes as well. I mean, they jut out just far enough to really put the fear into FPX, wondering if there could be a player lurking and creeping. The door is going to be hit there with a switch. Now a call is made. Paranoia, Dizzy, everything offloaded all together. Shin is really in dire straits. He needs some help from the rest of his team. Dodging and juking side to side. How does he get the one kill eventually? Falling. Backing away here. Narrate realizing he has to respect this one. Doesn't want to toss away his life. Wants to play for the full retake with the rest of his team now. Plant. Actually denied there. That's a perfect placement of the nade, yeah. And a kill.
I mean, if anyone was going to go down, and I thought it would be Autumn on 30 health, but Lysol just tanks it. Maybe not hearing that in the moment.
Narrate, despite the fact that he's spamming down, trying to get a second. Finally, the apple taking out all of it, leaves it to Berlin. He's just got so much working against him. Berlin, hello. Here's your time to shine, but Tomasi shuts that one down right quick. So, bonus round conversion not there, but he made it a hell of an expensive round. I mean, listen, only one player surviving.
Yeah.
KC.
Absolutely. I mean, when Lysol goes down to the nade, it looks like KC are going to have their pick of that one. It's going to be an easy battle, but Berlin once again in a pretty similar manner to what he did in round 13 on Icebox.
30 seconds left.
Being able to get way more value from a position than you would expect from him. Makes it very damaging to KC's economy. So now, Calmin Core coming into the next round have a Bulldog and a Judge to work with. Martine is playing Judge Raze here at the front of B to start this round. FPX haven't been wandering close to B, but I wonder if they're going to try to set up some kind of trap here on Mound.
A chance of it.
Open the door, blast pack out, do something crazy with the Judge perhaps.
Yeah, I mean, Shin's position is really quite far forward there.
The problem is, the more space that you give them over towards A here, Brent, the more that you're going to allow A-Young to get set up with the Thrash, push Magnum into uncomfortable positions, and get plants down on A. So this is, despite the fact there's a Killjoy and an Odin playing on the A site, this does look a little weak.
There it is now, Thrash clearing out towards tree. Magnum smart enough to give up the space. Be free gained now. Plant down for Berlin. Unconventional plant spot. Post plant doesn't allow you to play from stairs to really try and spam that one down. It's actually tucked to the corner. Heavy reliance on tree. See if that bites them here. Here's the initiation. The moves in with the Judge, eventually shutting down that threat. Martine can't get anything done, but Calmin Core still there with the rifles. Off to the side, Autumn inside the smoke. Narrate. Last player left standing. 1v2, maybe even second guessing himself, wondering if he gets another one, could be played, but no, now making the smarter decision here, so saving a rifle, running away with it, so FPX up to a third round.
Yeah, getting themselves into a really nice position. The thing that catches Calmin Core off guard there when they go for the retake are the unconventional swing timings from FPX. As soon as they hear the Paranoia double blast pack come out, FPX don't respect it, they swing into it. And that catches KC as they go to try to push off the back of the utility, taking gunfights at unfavorable timings. And you'll see here Berlin just manages to catch this one. And you also have Autumn coming out through the smoke. Perfect timing to try to catch Martine in the back. The damage that they did on the bonus, capitalizing there. And leading to a really nice beginning to this map from FPX.
That's fantastic. Keep this one going as well. Listen, generate the ultimates, keep using them to just snowball your way forwards. I think the more rounds as well that FPX get and start accruing is that question you brought up earlier, you know. Calmin Core, they've been playing against the Metacomps. How do you deal with something that's a little bit less standard, especially against a team that plays a little bit less standard too? You know, FPX, we've been seeing them play. I mean, they don't shy away from a lot of individualistic plays.
No, not at all.
Shin tucked to the corner. Will he be taken out? Yeah, and dealt with. Winning the showstopper there against the weaker buy.
Yeah, so expensive, but starting to build up to, you know, a Viper's Pit for the next as well. So the ult cycle is still not in a terrible situation, even though they felt it necessary to invest that. They're in a great spot to be able to close this one out too. The weaponry is not great on anyone other than Narrate.
Holding all the players down for the double face. Autumn, 3 in a round, might be looking for another one. There it is, with the fourth, so...
With the classic of all things too.
Steadily building his way back up to his own ult that he just expended. 4-1 here, FPX might be starting to run away with it. Important round coming up now. Take a look at the economy. Common Core be able to get some of those rifles online, but they don't have any big ultimates of their own, really. Yeah, I mean, okay, Martini's one away. Maybe if he gets a kill, get the showstopper too, but it's imperative, really, that they put a stop to FPX here.
Especially if Lysor starts getting into position to pit on the site. Because we saw that on Icebox, that the pits and the more aggressive post-line positions really messed with KC and the way that they wanted to approach things.
Early fight, here my life. Doesn't expect that Shin has already crossed one way, might just see the feet.
Not quite catching it.
Yeah, quite.
Oh, has he got a glimmer of it there, perhaps? I don't think so. The boombot used from Autumn close to B main as Life forced to teleport away. Autumn has not quite cleared Thomas yet.
Yeah, it was broken. It gave the indicator. It gave the indicator for Autumn.
Great movement to be able to escape.
Really heads up as well. Knowing that the boombot was cleared, he's expecting it. He's like, okay, potential there, behind the box tucked. First kill for them, so 50 seconds now. Making the moves over towards the A site. Magnum is here, ready and waiting with the setup. That's the Nanostorm still. Paranoia goes wide. He's holding an off angle. This is really quite aggressive. And Autumn just offsets the movement ever so slightly enough. Flank around Shin. They weren't expecting that one with the TP, but he's only one man. What can he do? Paranoia glides TP in face.
No way.
No way. No way. Shin. That's monstrous. And Life, he's nowhere near. Sticking this one through. Where's the defuse, but not a clue. Still half on it. Life puts him to bed, puts him to rest.
What a kill to end that! And what a play from Common Core. An attempt to try to set that up. And timeout called. That was an enormous investment. I mean, the play that they went for there, Nightfall into the Omen ult. They had no idea that Shin was all the way back there. They had no audio cues. Paranoia, so they have no audio cue on this either. Shin was set up for success. And Life shut it down.
I said at the beginning of the round, that was a pivotal one. Economy going to be reset here for Common Core. Instant timeout called.
Yeah, this is now serious danger. KC unveiling one of their big ideas for how to go for a retake there, or at least to put pressure onto FPX as they were going for the plant. Using a really nice ult combo, still gets stuffed. And Autumn is currently sat 12-3, up at the top of the scoreboard for FPX. Finding so many good timings. His awareness in that round to be able to pick off Tomaji early on. In the previous round, to be able to catch Martin as he went for the double blast pack retake on A. Autumn has been playing wonderfully here.
Pride of OCE. Stepping up here onto the big stage.
And so many conversations about, you know, what do the communications look like within FPX? Because Autumn isn't super comfortable with only speaking Chinese inside the team, so they're having to do a lot in English too. Is it worth it? Well, if he plays like this, it is.
Yeah, it definitely is.
And Life, who was at the top of the scoreboard on Reyna, is still 6-1, barely been punished. Only that one time where he overstayed his welcome slightly on A.
Double control given up, FPX happy to do so. Autumn also one away from his ult.
Yeah, and look at how that round is about to spiral the ult economy out of control for FPX. This ult cycle is getting monstrous.
Magnum is tucked here, has the stinger. Too much util, still finds the kill. Just taking the timing as well, knowing they were going to explode into the side, and he backs away, so toss away his life for no reason. Plant.
This is going to be difficult, though, for Common Core, because they're going to come back into this against potentially big ultimates, if Autumn or Lysor are able to get a pick. There are huge ults on the other side. It might have been a good idea to try to stack one of them, the plant.
Yeah, potentially, because Martin's now going to be coming back in. Nade, rebounding, snake by ults, offloaded. Thomasy, what a shot, what a shot indeed! The players are toppling here, the rifles matter not. Common Core on display, showing exactly what makes them that #1 seed from EMEA.
And just a bit too passive from FPX.
Thrifty.
Resting on their laurels, not remembering the game plan that they had coming in. And that's our second MasterCard Thrifty of the series, I believe. But from what we'd seen earlier on, when Karmik were fighting aggressive post plants deep into spawn to this, like almost the most passive way that you could play this situation, not loading the plant into Lysor or Autumn where you would have a big ultimate to be able to work with. Bit of a misplay, but like I said, the ult cycle is demonic right now for FPX.
Online.
They have literally everything, yeah.
It's a rubble fight, not being contested early by FPX, so had nothing to do with it. KC not even really using too much util of their own. Stalemate just to start things off. Life with the tour de force. Hoping that he can contact in as a slight gap into the smoke. He was praying that Magnum potentially cross into the sideline.
And Magnum is just holding angles.
Hello.
Catch people.
आजो. Oh yeah, sorry.
He's looking to try to catch Autumn in a very non-committed place, Magnum. But one where he can just catch headshot sightlines.
SM flying out towards B.
मैं भी यहीं पे खेलता हूँ, same position, same.
Not a full commitment though at all, is it? No. It's just supposed to feel fakey.
All over the place here, but really there's not too much behind it. Still, okay, Prowler, P13, what? A shot, quick scope of life, shuts that one down.
W thumbnail भाई वैसे हाँ?
He's out of there, vacates. Side control going to be gained for them. It's being lost all over the place here with Thomasy losing that one. Paranoia swing through, a little bit delayed here, but FPX are the ones that are coming out on top. Kill feed, filling up with red, and that's all they're seeing right now. Hunted for the kills. Magnum, lovely shot with the discipline. Shin, he's setting the aim just enough. 1v2. Does he still choose to make a go of this?
He's worried about those aggressive timings that FPX like to take. Fear in his heart, causing this to be a retake. A save. Meaning that KC are in a hole right now. They're in a whole lot of trouble. FPX still with some big ultimates that they didn't feel incentivized to use there. We were watching that fight happening over towards the defender side. Those are kills that I think either happened over the top of or through a smoke. And obviously that first
Welcome back. Hello. वैसे एक second.
Interesting ideas.
Lovely idea. And not something that KC was
तो अब तक ये करी थी. था भी नहीं मैं तो. ये क्या देख रही थी मैच? मैच किसे देख रही है?
Attack-sided map from everything that we've seen, but FPX here are looking so much more successful than they did on Icebox.
Cover going.
One ways exchanged. Berlin.
Careful there.
Could be playing into a deeper angle, potentially even inside the one way, but
FPX previously, when they had Ayoung's ult online, did end A. They expected it to only be one player there. It was Magnum with an Odin. And now Ayang looking to make his way towards A again. But Berlin with the spike on B.
अभी लिखूँगा, काम भी लिखना है. अभी कॉल भी करता हूँ क्योंकि अभी फोन में चार्जिंग नहीं है. और आने तो आ जाओ डिस्कॉर्ड पे. से देखेंगे.
Broken wide. Paranoia was sent flying a bit prior here.
3.
Players into 4 positions with Lysor.
अभी कर रहा हूँ. चार्ज नहीं है उसमें थोड़ा. इस मैच की बात कर दूँ. दिखाता हूँ ये करता हूँ. मतलब फिर उसके बाद भी आपसे बात ही हो सकती है.
Nails it with the detainment. That's 2 players there. They can't actually enter the fight, but really they've done the damage here with the bodies. Nothing to break this lockdown whatsoever. Life was being pressured onto that position. Once more detainments across the board. Narrate sticking forwards here. Sees half on the board. Magnum really just seeking to delay. He's got his teammates back. Ayang forcing out the wingman. Horn drops down, rebounds half on it. Really needs to swing wide. Magnum needs to shut it down. Not even necessary.
Okay. वाओ अभी रात में टकाटक भी आएंगे. मैं टकटक ले गया था आज.
I like the ideas actually from both teams. Sure, we didn't see the pit on the site, but we did see them save that Thrash for a post-plant situation to try to challenge the lockdown. Unfortunately, the fights just simply didn't go their way. Magnum being able to pick up both of them.
20 रुपीस वाला फैमिली पैक क्योंकि तुम सब मेरी फैमिली हो.
There's a great chance that FPX are able to push forward to get the kill.
मैं थोड़ी सी खाऊंगा. मैंने आज पता है दोपहर में सुबह खाया था. बट मैंने ओरियो शेक पी लिया था. भाई वो बंदा बहुत बढ़िया भाई भैया बहुत बढ़िया. बट तो बहुत अच्छा बनाते हैं भैया यार शेक. पता है ओरियो शेक बहुत अच्छा था उनका. मैंने पी लिया मेरे को अच्छा लगा. क्या हो रहा है ये? अबे भाई कैंटीन वाला. हाँ इतना का वेडनेसडे जाना है और वेडनेसडे वापस तो आ ही जाएंगे. अब वापस तो आ ही जाएंगे जल्दी जल्दी जल्दी. ठीक है वही वीकेंड. बट मैं मास्टर स्ट्रीम कर सकता हूँ फाइनल बढ़िया से. एडवांटेज देखो तुम अच्छी चीजें ढूंढा करो पूरी चीजों में.
Generally speaking, apart from that one round, was it round 7, I believe, where they just played a little too passively. For the rest of it, they've been up, aggressive in Carmine Core's faces, forcing the duels, utilizing nice pieces of utility.
कैंटीन वाला भैया बहुत गोटेड है.
The thrash to push the lockdown over towards B as well.
Really proactive calls being made by an FPX team that, honestly, I thought were going to be riddled with these communication issues, you know, having to really translate twice, you know, Berlin having to...
मेरे को चोटी बना लेनी चाहिए.
It led to the macro game of FPX looking a bit...
बट अभी आएगी नहीं चोटी. बाल कटवा लूं या दाढ़ी?
Rapid in terms of the way they've been pressing the issue, forcing KC to react to them, and it's been by hair's breadth really in terms of KC being able to win some of these rounds out.
मैं 3 तारीख से 7 तारीख नहीं होगी स्ट्रीम. ना ही 20 तारीख से 23. हाँ दाढ़ी कटवा लो. ठीक है 20 से 23 नहीं होगी. 3 नहीं 2 से 6 नहीं होगी. 2 से 6 या 7. तो मेरे को मिस कर. मैं अपडेट करते रहूँगा.
Passive approach to the defense, relying on those good retakes. And that's giving FPX a lot to work with. Here we see KC start the round with 3. And Narrate actually saved all of his Fade utility. Didn't throw any for the rubble fight at the beginning of the round. They're not worried about that area of the map. KC have maintained control of it at the start. And now you can see both teams saving a lot of their utility. They're expecting KC to play passive, and they're also not really fighting rubbles. Teams coming into the mid round here with tons to work.
3 से 6 नहीं 3 4 5 3 से 10 वे 3 से 10 यार तुम तो मेरे को बहुत मिस करने वाले हो सब. मेरे को पता है मैं तुम्हारा फेवरेट स्ट्रीमर हूँ. रिपीट आई हुई. अरे भाई
He's just swinging through an Anna Swarm there as well. He's opened the round up so wide for FPX. Looking to try to get another, and he does. Aeyang's been such a beast in this series so far.
Hit drop down. Berlin's watching for it. You can hear it, the rumbling of the footsteps. That is 7-2-4. You're exactly right, Josh. I mean, Aeyang.
अभी इसके बाद कोड भी कर. फाइन यस अगर डिसाइडेड है. बाकी मैं रोज स्ट्रीम करता हूँ तब तक. वॉच पार्टी तो होगी रोज. फिर उस टाइम पे नहीं होगी यार. फाइनल हो जाएगा. वो एक खुश है. अबे यार का
Absolute bargain bin purchases.
White zone, yes, can I?
Working with scraps to the final round of the first half. It's led to them to make the decision really, just give up C. I mean, they went aggressive towards B main.
Abey bhai.
They could maybe get a favored fight, taking it with the numbers.
Saw you, little homie.
For now. Space given and granted for FPX out towards C mound.
And Aeyang picks up his ultimate. FPX really happy to work the map. And this is looking like another
But ये तो कर भी रहे हैं.
bit of a feint over towards C. Now opening the door, putting pressure on Magnum here.
Pulls out that trap play setup, this wall tucked behind it. Magnum. Maybe he
आवाज आती है.
Nightfall here, forward sound cues missing, taken away. Plan still online for spotted. Everybody watching towards the wall, but that is a nasty shot by Tomazi and through main. Would have blocked that angle up. Actually, might just be through to Smoke here. Oh, sound cues. Life is really just going to rely on his aim. Smoke finally blooms and blossoms to cut off these available players, but guess what? That flank of Lysol is coming in right from the side. Tomazi sticking, half already, has to get off of it, has to get the kills, but not expecting it. The full wrap around and an 8-4 finish.
भाई केस कारमाइन कॉप को इनने दिक्कत में डाल दिया है.
Very nice ending there from FPX. Good way of adding extra layers into
बहुत
that.
प्रिपेयर्ड हो क्या ये टीम्स.
Very competent attack.
ये तो दिख रहा है.
On a map where
बट अटैक साइड में आता है. ये भी अटैक साइड है.
It's an attack-sided map in general.
ये देख.
So don't count
आउट वही.
squad from being able to make a comeback happen.
बहुत ज़्यादा अटैक साइड है.
Pressure is now firmly on them.
Send it down to the analyst desk to break it down.
Thank you very much, guys. It is a great half and a nice start from FPX here. But let's take a look at a Verizon high-speed moment of the match, because this one goes to Shin. And what a play this was, Mimi.
Yeah, it was impressive. This round started off so good for FPX. They got a huge advantage. And then Shin, incredible instincts to get behind instantly on this TP and almost win it. But he did lose the round in the end. And that's the story of this half. It is FPX up 8-4. For me, this was a very different FPX from now. It wasn't defined by life going crazy, by these two aggressive pushes in the late round. It was instead that being really good fundamentals. Starting off normal, 1-3-1, pressuring the extremities, and then late rounds, making really good reads and actually out-calling Master to get ahead.
Yeah, I think they out-mentaled the plan that Keiko originally had for this map. If we look at the rifle that they were using from the attack, it differs completely from what we see in EMEA. We were talking about the Odin, Thomas going crazy on that. It doesn't hold a lot of value if that position is not going to be held by.
This does get risky in the second half. This map, as the casters were highlighting, it's a lot harder to defend on, even with FPX having this lead. And I think on this defensive side as well, this is where we really get to see what this team they have to be on top of these rotations. Because Army Core is a team who's really good at selling these little fakes, at playing into the right site in the mid round, and then having super strong post fights.
Yeah, it is a healthy lead, but a pistol could change everything as we head back into the second half. With your casters, it's Brennan Sideshow.
So for Carmen Core, I mean, backs against the wall with this one. Hefty lead for FPX. Keep it going with the pistol.
Look at this pistol round buy. It's really interesting, actually. We've got 3 players with Sheriffs online. Shin on attack side Omen has bought 1 smoke and a teleport. So he's clearly planning to get value out of that as part of their pistol strategy. If they're going to end B here, that means that they're only going to have 1 smoke. They're going to fight Heaven aggressive with the Viper Wall.
Or again, trying to disrupt this one. FPX cracked open the wall out towards C. Tried to double face this one, but they've got deep into Heaven. Carmen Core. Where's the second protocol? Just leaping. Wow. Boundless, man. Jumping straight into the face of Ayang, and he can't withstand that kind of pressure. Into Link now. Paranoia. Flying. Corners clear. Making sure they're there with the diligence. Nade rebounding, but Magnum holding down the ground. Forwards. It's the approach, but again, there's just nothing to deal with this guy. He's just rattling off shots. Left, right, and center, straight from main. Only smoked off. Berlin diffusing. Half, sticking, hello, gets off of it, but now damage is done. Snakebite tap, they've got to realize this now, surely, with the time cues, but they all collapse in time. Carmen Core, the pistol round win.
I thought there was a little bit of danger there. Turns out, Tomaji, he had his orb and a snakebite on the plan. So not too much danger, but it was maxed out at only being able to get half of the spike. This is the play, though, that really wins them the round. They're not just fighting Heaven aggressively with the Viper Wall. They're planning to swing through their own Viper Wall to be able to hard clear out anybody that was looking to try to play retake in that area. Great pistol round strategy. Well cooked up by KC. Gives them a chance.
FPXC. Some control towards a rubble, but a stack of 4 players going to be meeting them pound for pound. Yes, they don't have the weapons, but they do have the util. And look at that Dizzy connection.
वो एक मर गए सारे. ओ भाई.
Could have gone in any direction, but eventually the Bulldogs that carried him through it.
Yeah, after that initial wave of utility, got the first 2 kills for FPX. They just couldn't quite hold on. As soon as the KC players could see, they shot back. And Life tries to make the play there, shut down. All down to Berlin. We've seen some outrageous situations from Berlin so far in this series. He's managed to pick up a Bulldog. But I think this would just be a little too much. He's gonna need a free.
Haven't really been offering too many of them. There's an option though. Magnum's just jiggling the corner out towards Link. Berlin making sure to clear everything before he starts the approach now. 1 smoke, 2 smokes. Freshly rejuvenated.
He's found a timing past Magnum, but he's set up a crossfire. This triple setup is so strong.
You just don't win it. There's too much to account for. Too much to account for. So, rifles to carry into the bonus.
Bermuda triangle post-plant setup. You ain't getting out of that one.
You can't do it. Can't do it.
So yeah, this is going to be a fairly potent bonus round, but not the most that we've seen. There was a little bit of damage there. Also something to keep in mind, Autumn was 12-3 to begin this map. So you look at where he is on the scoreboard right now, he hasn't been doing too much since that absolutely electric beginning.
Bit of a struggle.
In order for the FPX to be able to close this out and take their 2nd map ever at a global event, you're going to need big players like Autumn or Life to really make sure that they can close this one out.
Berlin trying to make the most of the Odin spam. Util was used just to set Shin up into a forward position through rubble. Now the 2nd wave is going to be used early on here. I mean, talking a minute 20. Now, Karmancore could look to try and go all the way back over towards A. Berlin. He's going to get pushed out into the open. He's going to get pushed out into the open!
I mean, the Berlin moments.
Oh my! Berlin, what are you doing?
They are wild.
Oh no, I can feel it, the danger zone. And it's there. FPX now forced to try and do a lot more. Ayang out wide into the open. Lysor, he's found his straggler up onto the opposite side of the map, but really the damage is done. Life has to make a go of it. Wall fades, no one accounting for it. Spike dropped down, he's brought this into a 2 versus 2. Definite chances here for him.
Serious opportunity for FPX to be able to recover this. Oh, that's a ton of damage onto Life, though. The Odin spam perfect, but he might have distracted for Lysor to find a timing.
What happened to backside? Shinny's just on top of the ropes, man.
That's a bonkers play to go for.
4044.
It's so much more difficult. Lysor, how do you cut up these angles? How do you find the right fights? How do you isolate them? He's not even clearing Shin. Tucked up there, and there was a player ready to swing. Him and Tomazi, dynamic duo.
Should have been more dangerous than that, actually, for Karmancore. Shin somehow manages to make that one look easy by pushing with an Odin into heaven. But it's the player on the other side. It's Shin's opposite, Berlin, who just threw the round away so early on. This is an anti-bonus. You have an economy advantage to clear the round out, and he just wanders out through the rotating door. It's the kind of play that you should never be going for.
ये हो गया.
And I think he just got completely lost with what was occurring there. Didn't think that KC were committed to rubble whatsoever. And we've seen a few moments from him throughout this series. He's matched the big round-winning plays with those kind of moments where he loses the plot a little bit.
Certainly has. Interesting play by FPX here on their half-bar, eco, whatever you want to call it. They throw a ton of utility at a rubble, and they over-rotate immediately, so they have the stack. They're trying to force Karmancore right into them. They're going to get their wish granted. Martin can't see anything yet with the Phantom in his hands, making short work at him. Wide face, driving by. One player left standing, it's Autumn.
Told ya, bro.
Kill because of it. Really should not be any more danger in this.
With the stack dodged, KC should be able to rely on that. Just to get them through this one, no problem. The time's an issue. Autumn's been stuffed into a corner, has no idea that these two players are so close.
He's getting bullied. Lunch money taken here. The high-low setup. Very little chance and opportunity, and so 8-8.
And not only 8-8, Brent, Karmine Corp now actually favored in my opinion, because I talked about it on the attack side for FPX, the ult cycle is just monstrous. Look at what they're starting to get up to. Nightfall, Lockdown, available. Those are going to start to build up. The Pit and the Showstopper. This composition has so many tools to be able to chain stuff together on the attack side.
One enemy remaining.
And this now might be a little too late for FPX. They had their opportunities early on in this half to make it dangerous for KC.
Low upper middle, lower upper middle, side lower, side upper. तो
And yet weren't able to convert on them. Now they need some hero plays. Because if you just look at things, all things being even, an attack side map where KC is starting to get big ults online, with the quality of this team, FPX should be in the squeeze right now. So they are going to need somebody to step up.
That's why the timeout's called. Maybe just reining Berlin in a little bit might help. It hasn't been costing him too much, just that one round that just sticks out in my mind, of course, when he donated over the Odin.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you have those round losing plays in big situations, they're actually worse than the round winning plays that you get in some other spots. And when we think back to Icebox, one of the worst parts for FPX was that they were only winning 43% of the time when they were up a player. When they were
Mohawk,
when they got
pool.
the first pick.
I mean, speaks volumes, I think, about Karmine Corp's ability to turn situations like that, but also for FPX, I mean, that is...
They were tossing some of those situations.
It's pretty dire, isn't it, not being able to convert.
With things like going for those mid-round...
नहीं वो नहीं कर रहा, मैं तो वही कर रही है क्योंकि वो तीन वाली ऐसे आ जाएगी. मैं वही कर रहा हूँ, अपर लोअर और वो वाली और अपर लोअर और मिडल वाली.
This is where you gotta try to take the risks, though. I think you can't just sit back and allow KC's ults to come at you.
वरुण और रुशन बचे. एक बार अबे से थैंक यू ब्रो. बाय द वे अबे से एक बार पूछ के बता कि वरुण रुशद का कोच नंबर क्या है. मैं वो डालूं ना प्रेफर्ड उसमें.
The approach, Satchel's in, Dizzy's there, but Wingman follows it up, stunned up, well, cosmetic in nature, FPX still, all here now, Shin, last one left, having a defuse,
नाइस हिट. हो रहा बफर हो गई, हो रहा अभी भी. अरे रिफ्रेश कर ब्रो. नहीं हो रही, मेरे सामने चल रहा है, मैं साइड में चला रखी है मैंने. एक बार अबे से वो पूछ ले कोच नंबर.
To win the raw fights, particularly those kills against Martina Tomashi there, being massive difference makers, head in hands for Zeish. That was a round that KC were expected to win and did not. Big ultimates used too. It's broken their ult cycle.
What a time lure for
Coach B2.
Same opening for Karmine Corp. Out towards
B2.
Lysor. That is the snake bot going to be using. Wow, okay, just spanning straight through. That's one way to clear the pit. If he didn't get it, at least Martin with a showstopper might have.
And I say broken the ult cycle, but Martin being able to enter the showstopper and Tomashi being able to get the pit online as well. They're fighting tooth and nail for this. Making sure that they don't get pushed into an uncomfortable spot.
Real uncomfortable though is the retake. How do you choose to take this one? The pit blocking off all the avenues out towards Waterfall. Thrash might be the answer here for Ayang. Berlin can't work his way through that one way. A lot of util being used to try and push them back, but look at how
ठीक है.
I mean, you're just clearing one section of the ult detained. I believe the one clearing through needs the guns, at least with the fight. It's Magnum. Just dominating that one angle. Looks to really just step towards them now when he spots the final few players, and Berlin's out of there.
Oh, what a response from Karmine Corp. Kept it simple, used the ultimates, got themselves a round win. And that builds up the economic safety net that they have.
Yeah.
But now it's 9-9 with all of the big ultimates starting to try favor FPX. You know, it's going to be a while before Karmine Corp have those to rely on to be able to string a round together like that. It does feel like Lotus is very based on what ults you have online. FPX, economy disadvantage.
हो गया.
But it might not feel like that if you end up running into life. KC just looking like they want to focus on mount control into the C hit.
It's the same hit over and over again. The deep smoke that Shin places down, everybody plays inside of it to dodge any attempt of a flash repeat.
And this feels like they're just punishing the lack of the killjoy on the other side.
Yeah.
They're not worried about running into life.
They're scrimming, man. Practicing
Yeah.
C execs.
Very much so.
Autumn does have his ult. Needs to stay alive though. If he wants to use it in this, any chance of it. A tap from the rate with the spike. They are trying to force out at least some util, maybe the ult out of them. Now sticking and committing into it. Ground setup. Backing them away with the rifles here. Karmine Core, it is quite passive position, just giving up basically the back section of the site.
Does Autumn choose to ult? Down 4v5.
Would be a crazy one. That's essentially a solo swing there from Lysol. Not really set up for it. Life onto the flank. Lambot notifying the team of his position. There's not too many more pieces left for FPX to do anything about it.
And these last 2 rounds have been just what the doctor ordered for KC. It was looking on a nice edge that it could spiral out of control. And instead, they've kept it so clean, only that 1 round going the way of FPX. And at this point, FPX are going to have to try to come up with a different way of holding on to C. You look at how Karmine Core are taking mount control at the start of the round. Shin throws a smoke, they get a teleport into the smoke, they have double faces in case anybody's playing aggressive. They can use Fade utility there as well, Prowler when they get in. It's all very rigorous. Look, there's the smoke that you can see. Martine's inside of it instantly. They can swing out of this in a variety
Book नहीं हो
of
रही.
ways. Avoid any dizzy. If there's a paranoia, they can hide inside the smoke. You know, creates that little safe beacon, safe haven for them to play around. But they haven't neutralized the danger on the opposite side of the map.
No, looking for a re-clear here, but it's a high-low setup. Safety at least for some of the players. Nana Swarm got to respect that one. Berlin dropping down. Nightfall now being used to clear. In the midst of all of this chaos, Berlin, man, he was setting up another one-way smoke. Still with the rifle traded. Shin puts that one away from him. 50 seconds left. Quite efficient. The attack side around here for Karmine Core. Plenty of time left if they want to take a pivot.
But the problem is, the more the time ticks, the more auto.
नहीं सेकंड यार क्या हो रहा है?
Hoping that any stack over towards C would have been dismantled at this point because of all of that rubble pressure.
Feels like they're going to be pivoting into a B, A to B almost, with them opening the door up. But
high-low,
set everybody out towards C, and the players, they're running away, but they hear it jumping around. Autumn, it's popped off the old high-low setup. Not expecting it. The rate's already there. Dizzy, avoiding him, no, just catching onto him. 15 seconds left. Has to deal with this player. He's got the spike.
क्या हो रहा है?
Teammates, nowhere near at all. He's going to try and force his fight out. The rate wins it. 8 seconds. He's going to get this plant down. And it's being covered. Surely no spam. He does. An extension into the round.
Monstrous from the rate. He's 22 and 11 in the map so far, and trying to win this round almost on his own, waiting for the cavalry to arrive.
भाई
Horn spotting it, avoiding it. Bullets hailing down onto him, but his head just peeking out and over. No, can't be stopped, man.
भाई रुक जाओ मत मारो.
The Des was talking about, do you like his Gecko more? Do you like his fade? Nuri is out here dumpstering people.
No matter what he plays.
Playing like this flex initiator role. Sometimes we'll see him on duelist, and you can see why when you look at this guy's talent. So many duels here that weren't favored, where it looked like an FPX player had caught him.
Marshall, Marshall, can you look at it? Oh my.
Yeah, Shin's happy about that one.
This time Karmine Core setting the sights over towards A.
And the push out C from FPX, they knew they had to change something up. And now Magnum's got the read on it. All right, so they were aggressive on C, let's try and push it into A fast.
What is that?
बे यार
Spike through, catches
खराब
to
कर
Berlin.
दिया.
Stand a chance there. They catch the C push, yeah. Magnum is watching for it, knowing that.
Another duel though where Lysor could have found the timing, and instead the Karmine Corp player comes out on top, readjusting the aim.
It's fallen to pieces. Ayang, he's a good go of it there. Puts away two of them, but not enough to withstand the pressure. All the players now. Push from live. It's the last one left. Hold up, rotations. Players are.
और कौन था?
It's a timing game. Shin's seen the barrel. He's seen the barrel and he takes care of him. 12 rounds. Now game for Karmine Corp. One step closer. Taking the series entirely.
8-4 half. And as soon as KC got onto the attack side,
More.
navigating danger, putting together some
Upper, middle, lower.
chaining ults, punishing the C defense, reacting correctly too. And a reminder, yeah, we thought that this would be one of the least even matchups on paper. FPX came into this one hoping to be able to get at least a map, maybe a match win, show the global stage that they were capable of so much more than they've done in the past. Now they're one round away from getting knocked into the bottom portion of our Swiss stage.
Nightfall suspended once more. Prowler connecting, Magnum holding, watching. What is that by Autumn?
Those are amazing.
Hell of a time to come alive. This team definitely needs
Nice.
They're just being collapsed upon. Shin has got his ult, picks up the spike, repositions now, but guess what? Berlin might be one step ahead. He's running his way back over towards A, anticipating this kind of reaction. A plant though won't be pushed back. Shin has a chance. Close the case entirely. 1v2. Ayang.
क्या हो रहा है भाई? कुछ नहीं हो चल रहा. फोन मर गया. फीड भी खत्म होने वाली है उसकी.
Paranoia repositions out wide to the side. Shot connects. Snaps to it. Shin will not find it. FPX alive for now in the map. Zayang is the one to do it.
What a recovery in that round for FPX to find 4 kills off the back of Guardians. 2 players, the 2 star players, Autumn and Light, just being able to pop. Those initial kills though, Autumn, again, I keep wanting to mention, he was 12-3 at the beginning of this map. He's still only got 17 kills. If he can wake up, FPX can still bring this to overtime.
भाई मेरे को रिफंडी दे दे.
Heavy hitting firepower from FPX has got to come online now when they need it most. Otherwise, KC are going to win this series.
First time I've seen a bit of aggression on the defensive side.
अबे अब मेरे को एक चीज़ को मनी पे चाहिए नहीं.
So many positions to look for here, but a Boombot now. Look at the levels to it, the layers to it. Boombot Prowler, you have to respect it. Rendezvous back now, and here comes the C hit. Pressure there. Martin. Vulnerable up, there was a nanoswarm at his feet, but now there's a snake bite to try and respond, and a flood defense by FPX is caught. Dizzy missing wide, facing Lysor. He's got his 2 there. The rate is eager to challenge straight to them. He's eager to put an end to the entirety of this series, but the spike has been dropped into the middle of nowhere.
That's the big problem now. Extraction.
भाई यार.
KC, Magnum's trying to cause some chaos, see if he can pull people away from the C site, threaten some kind of wild lurk, but would they really push through Waterfall here to retrieve the spike? Or is it all a fake?
Subterfuge being thrown into the mix. There's a Haunt to clear the way, but Berlin is back up onto the space, into the angle. An essential kill, but it goes missing. And now Waterfall control is theirs. Autumn is there with a crosshair placement. And White now have to deal with these players. Karmine Corp! It's all down to 1v1. And this is it. Again, continuation of the series, or will it be that slam at dunk? Thomasy wraps it around, 20 seconds left. Spike still not retrieved. Thomasy! He finishes the job on their feet before you know it. And it's a 2-0 wrap to the series for Karmine Corp in their opening batch of Madrid.
That's a great way to get the nerves settled early and showcase that you can do it on the biggest stage. The Global Masters stage. These players with such small amounts of experience, but such a great system behind them. And passionate fans that are hoping they can go so much further. FPX certainly pushed them, but no map win for the Chinese squad, who still only have one so far in these 3 global showings. They'll have more chances. The Swiss system gives them future opportunities as well, though they have no idea who they'll be facing next. You could say that about both of these teams, though, because to be honest, when you look at the other matches that you've got coming up, it is difficult to predict who the favorites are. And just to revisit that topic, Bren, we were saying at the start, this should have been on paper one of the most one-sided matches you could get, and yet we had a 13-8 where things looked very close. We had it wrapped up at 7-7 and then a 13-10 on KC's map pick. Parity may well be the key word here at Madrid.
FPX definitely bringing it and testing at Carmine Core, but they come out strong. It's a 2-0 actually in terms of that map scoreline as well. And like you said, I mean, a series of unknowns leading into it. They don't know who their next opponent is going to be. It's up in the air. They're going to be paying close attention to these upcoming matches, including the one that we got coming up even next. That one is going to be a certified banger, man. I mean, Genji versus Loud, who knows which direction that one's going to go.
It's impossible to call. KC are going to be so happy, though, that they got that win under their belt early. It's going to give them the opportunity to watch these other games that are happening. They're a team that loves to prep, loves to practice. They were talking about the fact that it's been difficult to get that level of prac under their belts here, so that's a great start to the tournament.
Absolutely. Well, that's us finished. We'll send it down to the analyst desk to break it all down so far.
Thank you very much, guys. I'm joined by Mimi once again. What a fantastic win and stuff. But it is for K-Corp, of course. For majority of these players, Mimi, they've never even played on a global stage before, and they just 2-0'd FPX.
Yeah, I mean, even like in EMEA, there's a lot of the big matches they were playing. That finals against Heretics was online because the player wasn't there. For them, this match, I think, meant a ton to really get acquainted to that stage, to a bigger crowd, to a new environment. It's a lot of new stuff for these players. And honestly, I think they came out swinging. People can critique that it wasn't the stomp a lot of people predicted, but I think that was people underrating FPX. Like Eng said in that first halftime interview, this team has shooters. They'll catch you off guard. I think they're a real kind of test team that pushes you just enough if you're one of those top squads to be worrying, but it's about how you bounce back, and they absolutely did.
Yeah, I was getting a little bit worried there towards the end. Honestly, I felt like FPX, they might have been able to push them all the way to overtime, but the fact that KC actually closed it out, Mimi, especially for, you know, a player like Madam, who everybody used to harp on him for not being able to close games out, for being a bit shaky in those moments. I think I'm getting on the KC train really early.
Are you bringing back like the
really
2021 fraudnatic narrative about Magnum?
But I'm saying that that's no more, right? This is a new look, and I mean, we were watching the games. You were telling me, Nare, MVP of the tournament already, early shout.
I'm kind of feeling it. I mean, reactionary Randall, but this guy just came out and absolutely impressed. The second half especially, I think they had a great read. They realized there's not a lot of soul in this comp. They just kept pounding this C site. And for me, honestly, when you see this team go for an exec, they commit so perfectly around the utility. Just really clean stuff here from Carmine Core to kick off Madrid.
Yeah, and speaking of Nare, he's standing by with Kakuka in the Verizon post-match interview.
Bienvenidos a todos a la primera entrevista después de haber ganado Casey este primer partido aquí en Masters Madrid. I'm here joined with Narrate. So first of all, congratulations on the first win of Madrid. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Okay. Let's try, okay?
Yeah.
Let's celebrate, why not?
Buy the KC bundle.
Thank you very much, guys. I mean, the crowd has been amazing, so thank you very much. Now back into the interview and the actual questions. First of all, how do you think this team has been different from everything that you've seen in EMEA? How the preparation has been different to, you know, adapting to a Chinese team?
Well, obviously we have, like same thing with every team in this competition, we have a lot of info on them. So it's not really any different from any other team we played. I would say that they're really good at like making really good individual plays. Just absolutely, if you make any mistake, they will punish the fuck out of you. And it's like, it's really hard, to be honest. Like, we can play perfectly, but if some guy just finds a perfect timing, he's gonna kill all of us.
Okay, le he preguntado qué tal ha sido, ¿no? Prepararse para todo esto, para equipos diferentes a los que está acostumbrado en EMEA, y me ha dicho que la verdad tienen mucha información en los equipos, pero que la preparación es básicamente la misma. La información está ahí y sienten que FPX les ha castigado bastante, ¿no? En cada error que podían cometer, ahí estaban ellos para poner la bala. Of course, you had a brilliant performance, let's call it like that. How do you think this is going to translate into the rest of the tournament? Because, of course, you guys are the least experienced in some senses. Do you think that gives you that underdog power?
I mean, to be honest, we don't really see ourselves as underdogs or overdogs. We're just a team that we're going to try to play every team as well as possibly can, just play our game. So I don't think it's really going to affect us. Like, even though, like, you saw at EMEA that we don't need stage experience. We're just the players that we are. We don't crumble under pressure, and that's it.
Dice que no se derrumban ante la adversidad, que no necesitan esa experiencia y que todo el torneo debería de ser así. No se consideran que sean débiles o que vayan a sufrir por todo eso. Real quick, before I let you go, Chamber, Reina, of course, a lot of things that we do not see in EMEA. Was it hard for you to adapt onto all of that, or was it just the duels?
To be honest, like, it's not that hard to adapt to. Like, obviously we knew their comps before we played them, just because they played them in like Chinese League. And so, like, we kind of knew what we were going into, but also I feel like a lot of EMEA teams also play kind of crazy stuff as well. So it's not like we played against a billion different comps and scrims, and it's just preparation, and our preparation's really good, and we know what they're gonna do, and yeah, we just execute.
La preparación también por encontrarnos agentes como Chamber, como Reina, cosas que no solemos ver en EMEA. Dicen que la preparación ha estado ahí, que estas composiciones ya han jugado contra ellas en scrims, en EMEA también, así que se lo podían esperar, sabían cómo adaptarse a todo esto. Well, thank you very much. I will let you go. We'll see you in a couple of days. And you guys at home, do not go anywhere, because that's Gen G against Loud coming up next.
ready to day one of Masters Madrid. I'm Yingsu, once again joined by Mimi and Kakuka, and it's time to talk about the second matchup of today. It is Loud versus Gen G. Let's start with Loud because, Mimi, we talk about, teams missing out. NRG are not here, DRX are not here, but Loud are always here.
They absolutely are. The color was blue before. We're back to being green because this team always shows up to international events. And what makes it so impressive is that it seems to consistently be a new roster. Loud looked great last season, and they made changes in the offseason. They lost a player who a lot of people considered the best in the world in Ospas, but now they've picked up QCK instead. And Sada, as he seemingly always does, has reinvented this team and made it back to a global.
So it would be normal to think that if you have not been following Americas and you see this change and you see that Aspas is no longer in being such a staple for the team, that probably Loud has suffered. And maybe, not seeing them being seed 1 is all that we can account them for. I understand that we've seen some funky compositions, here and then. They rely a lot on the Viper. We've seen some Phoenix. I think that, coming into the tournament, that might be considered a weakness. But at the end of the day, it's exactly what you said. These guys have a lot of experience, most of them, into those international events, and the effect and all that trajectory has to put into play today.
Yeah, let's talk about those comms because Sadak has clearly been cooking. Do we like it? Is it our flavor or is it an overcook?
I think that it's something that can work, but I don't know for how long is the thing. So they're playing Breach Phoenix on 4 out of the 7 maps that they're playing, which is crazy to say the least. But the idea behind it is you have double flashes. You can go around, on example for Ascent. You can be splitting into a site, use flashes on both sides, overwhelm teams. You have great retakes, you have strong site hits, but what you give up is you have no dive agent. So if you're playing into a heavy Sentinel comp or a team with a lot of stall, you really can get punished for that.
Yeah, exactly. Also the double controller or on Ascend. Maybe we even see the Phoenix there. But I understand why they want to choose the Phoenix. I understand that the ultimate is very powerful. The flashes are very weak, in my opinion, because of how they stand. And I think that it is, from the outside, pretty easy to counter. But once you're in-game, there are so many things that you need to remember once you're going up against this combination, that the conditioning actually favors Loud. And that is one of the reasons why they managed to make it so far with this kind of compositions.
Yeah, we've seen teams counter them out. EG, for example, did very well at that, even though they lost the series, pulling out the Odin, shutting down because there was no dive to get through the stall. It is possible to counter this out, but the thing is the comp has a lot of little intricacies, a lot of little flash combos, little plays that can still catch you off guard that I think give it more depth than kind of initially looking at it would lend you to believe.
Yeah, of course. This is the 7th consecutive time Loud have made it to a global event. A lot of other IGLs, they didn't make it, but somehow Kakuka, Sadak, many iterations of this roster, he's always here. So talk me through why he's always making it, and can we confidently say that this is the greatest IGL in Valorant?
Nowadays, yes, we can definitely say it. He's been proving it, not only in the server, but actually, getting the team exactly what they need, finding the solutions inside and outside of the server, being that kind of reliable figure that can put you through the tough situations and make you a winner. Because it's very different, to just be able to roll with things, to improve things. But actually, Sadak is the kind of player that makes and creates them winners.
He certainly is. And it's not just the 7th consecutive Loud that has made it here. This guy has brought 5 different... Nope. This extremely loud, incorrect buzzer, wrong. What is right is that this guy has brought 5 different individual distinct rosters to international events. Twice with Vikings, 3 times with different players on Loud. He's the ultimate talent developer.
Yeah, and I also think that we can probably just give him the hat, right? The greatest IGL of this game. I'm quite happy to do that. I'm not sure about you guys. But speaking of Sadak, he's actually standing by right now with Mika Fabs. Check this out.
Hey Sada, can we pull you in for just a really quick question? I apologize, you have to drag your bag over here as well. So this is the 3rd variation of this team, and you consistently keep making it to global events. I mean, how do you keep doing this?
I think it comes down to us having fun. I have great teammates, so it's kind of easy when you have amazing people around you to do amazing things. So yeah, pretty much it.
Well, excited to see you guys have fun out there. Good luck.
I mean, they must be having fun playing some of these comms as well. But what's in the suitcase? What do you think?
His strats.
Yeah? All of them?
Yeah, it's like the nuclear football he carries around. He has
it's Aspas, just in case.
I don't think they'll they'll need him. I don't think they'll need him because with QCK coming in, I feel like he's adopted the way of Loud very nicely. And Mimi, we have a quote from him as well. He was talking a little bit about how he felt about Gen G. He said, I know that Gen G is one that's been showing a good game. They qualified by winning against a very strong team. This is a team that I'm looking at as a threat.
The thing is, the QCK kind of adopted the Loud way, but it's not the Loud with Osboss way. He's not Osboss. He doesn't play the Jet every map. He's not an incredible, perfect dive player in the same way Osboss was. He's instead flexing around, playing the Phoenix. He's fitting into Sadok's system, and for that reason, this does feel like a very different Loud than the one we talked about last year.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is another reason that makes Loud the team that, you know, a lot of people support and love. It's the fact that if you change these pieces, you can see a new version, but it is still a version that works, and they're not just fixated into, for example, FPX being crazy, just playing the crazy comms being extra aggressive. No, with Loud you can see very different iterations and they still make it work. So it makes it in time difficult to adapt and play against them.
Yeah, Loud, very familiar team here on the global stage. But today, Kukuka, they're going to go up against what I would say epitomizes the surprise element we've seen in the regional leagues. How did Gen G get here?
Well, basically, they beat DRX to qualify here, and it's been a very long
who did
time.
they beat in the finals? Just some small team, right?
Yeah, just a small team. You might know it. Something about paper.
Oh,
Paper and dinosaurs. Dinosaur papers.
Paper people rise up. Paper people rise up.
No, but Gen G, I mean, insane that they made it here after what? Only being shown at Lock-in last year.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the thing. First of all, we were surprised when you look at the global news and you're like, oh my God, DRX is not making it. And when you dive into how and why Gen G managed to make it here, how the individuals play within this roster. Lakia also back into this international stage that is going to welcome him with open arms. There is many reasons to believe that Gen G is the threat, and especially after what we heard of Scrimbox, that they're winning everything out here. It is a team to fear.
Allegedly, the streets have spoken, and Gen G hasn't lost Scrim since coming to Spain, which
they
is...
said it themselves, right?
Yeah, they said it themselves. Reliable narrator, myself. But it is possible that they have, because they were so good in Pacific. If I were to define the way this team plays, it's just doing the basic stuff incredibly well. They're mostly playing old default comps, the good honest Valorant stuff, but they execute on it incredibly well. Their synergy is great. They're very good at adapting. And then they also just have players who, 3 of their 5 players seem like they were having life tournaments in kickoff.
Yeah, exactly.
One of those players is the ultimate rookie, I feel like, coming into this. And let's send it back over to Mika Fabs, who's with Karen.
Hey Karen, can we pull you for a quick question? Pacific's Golden Rookie. So this is your first Masters event. This is your first global event. How do you feel going up against the former world champions in Loud?
I wasn't playing when they won champs.
Oh! You gotta love that answer. You gotta love that answer.
I wasn't playing when they won champs. I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
If they win after saying that.
That's crazy. I mean, it is ridiculous how good this guy is. Let me tell you, they would not be here if it were not for Karen. Their qualifying match against DRX, very close game. And then this guy on Lotus won like 4 or 5 clutches in one game, continually stole away rounds from their opponent. It's his first year playing Pro Valorant at this level. It's his first Tier 1 team, and he was out there dunking on the very best of Pacific.
I think that what it's also important to remark is the way that they play. You were mentioning, Mimi, the standard compositions, and actually a very standardized and different way from what it's usually played in Pacific. And when we think about, you know, it's probably the perfection version of DRX that they've been trying to achieve for years, but actually didn't make it. This Gen G has done it. And the fact that they can win against PaperX, remember, the PaperX that, you know, they might sound crazy, they might run these funky things, but they always make it far and deep into tournaments. Do not forget about that. So if they are able to interpone, to just be better with the play in standard, it means that they master what they do.
Yeah, my question is, where does Karen compare to the other rookies? Because there's some great rookies. We just saw Narrate Mimi. Do you think he's going to be up there in that kind of caliber?
I absolutely do think he is. I think that the performance he showed in Pacific looked as good as Naren. The thing is, how do you rate between those 2 international leagues? Because I think we have seen the level of Pacific to some extent not be up to what it was last year. PaperX not playing to the same level, they've said it themselves. DRX not even making it here, whereas I think we saw a lot of teams leveling up in EMEA. But I don't think that means he's going to come to an international international event and not play well. I think he can keep this up. The question is if it's at the same utterly ludicrous level that it was in their last 2 series in Pacific. I think that's a lot harder to achieve.
But honestly, I don't think that we cannot, expect him to do super well. Also because of the rest of the players that he has on the team. You have the Munchkin, you have Texture.
I mean, Texture finally on a team where he can just play the role he wants to play. He's just on jet and he's great.
Yeah, exactly. So it is very simple to, even if today he doesn't have the performance of a lifetime, I think that we have to be fair with them and do not expect every rookie's debut on a big stage to be like Narrate's.
I expect every rookie's debut on a big stage to be like Narrate.
Well, me too. I expected him not to lie to me, and he did.
Agree.
So.
I mean, we talk about rookies, right? I mean, at least with the players like Narate, he played in Americas. We had
tier 2.
Yeah, but Miniboo again coming through tier 2. But Karen, officials-wise, only has 17 officials ever. Sadak has 46 global games. Not just
global.
Just globally.
And if you tally up his time in
played
Brazil,
46.
his time in Americas,
So this is insanity, the kind of rookie going up against, the old guard we're talking about. But is this going to be the one that settles this? So if Sadak wins today, are we still believing, the old guard, they're here? Or if Gen G wins, is it time? Maybe time's moving on?
I think we also need to think about solos. Yeah, I like it. I think that, we were mentioning all the upsets and surprises that we had throughout the year. This could be a major one, probably one that is not in many people's votes for this match. But I think that we also need to think about what I was saying, solo, joining the team, having that experience, and maybe changing things up and giving this team a different identity.
Sure.
We have to be fair and talk about all the coaches that we think make the difference. And I think after seeing them today on stage, maybe we can draw some conclusions about it.
To answer your question, though, Sue, I think that I haven't moved on, but I think the world has moved on. Valorant has moved past the old guard, the old teams. That's why so many of them didn't make it here. The teams, though, that are still here with those IGLs who have been here since day one, who have been grinding, that's the proof of the pudding that those are the cream of the crop, which Sadak has already proved in event after event. However, that's not to say that if Gen G plays great today, that's not more faith that there is so much talent out there in younger players. Because I mean, how many times do we have to see that? We've seen it with KC. We've seen it with this team domestically. We've seen it with like half the teams here having rookies debuting.
I mean, the interesting thing is, we talk about how Karen wasn't there when Loud won the championship, but if we want to cast our eyes back to old, not just old guard, but like old guard, Lakia was there. Yeah. Lakia was here from the beginning.
He's bringing the oldest guard.
Yeah, but are we counting him as like the old guard, or are we counting him as a new blood?
I think that it also says a lot about him that he is able to adapt into, newer times and just playing with the youth, right? So I don't count him as old guard.
I count him as old guard.
He was there before Sadak was there, I feel like.
No, he actually was.
He was there before Mimi was born.
No, honestly, when the last time we saw Lakia at a global event, DRX was still Vision Strikers. That's not even like a troll. Like, that's just what it was.
Yeah. And they also didn't qualify to a global all the way back then. That was when Lakia was on new turn. I mean, so much has changed since this guy last showed at a global.
Yeah, and what are we expecting from him then? Are we expecting him to come out and have that experience and have a stable performance, perhaps?
Consistency. That's it. Like you say, Lakia is a steady player. He's always good at the initiator. He has good initiator utility. He sets up his teammates well. He also brings the level of experience that I think will help to kind of keep the rookies stable out there.
Totally.
For those of them that this is like their biggest match, their biggest debut.
Yeah, and I think we have to dwell a bit more into that initiation. We know from what the teams have been playing and how the meta is reshaping that initiators, just because of there's less and less every time, how important it is what you do with the information, how you gather the information. And I think that having someone like Lakia with all that experience is probably what this team needed and probably one of the keys to their success.
I do want to talk about Loud again for a second, and I want to just take my moment to go crazy about Les, because for my money, coming into this tournament, he looks like the best player in the world. Like, just straight up, I think
so.
He looks like
2023.
Yes, they are building their comps on Loud in a way where he gets to play the role he's comfortable with. Every single map, the guy is playing Viper, and he is odds out the best Viper that we have in Valorant. The guy's mechanics and aim are absolutely sublime. You don't need me to tell you that. Watch any game the guy has played before. His timings he chooses on lurks are ridiculous.
Yes.
This team lost Sauce Boss, and that's everyone wants to have Aspas on their
news.
team. But what we get instead is people to see how good Les has always been, now that he's the real star of this show.
We can draw a comparison between what Les is doing with Viper and at the beginning of the game when everybody was playing Jet. I mean, you at least like one dedicated Jet player. How good and how fast they were escalating and how fierce the competition was to see who's going to be the best Jets. I think that for Viper, Les it's very difficult for him to have a competition because there is no other player that only plays Viper on every single map.
No, I'm not just saying he's the best Viper. The best player.
The best player in the entire world.
Yeah, he was my number one.
Yeah, I had him up there last year.
Did you forget Zekken again?
No, he's
Zekken last time.
Last number one.
I mean, I'm actually fine with that, but I do think we should quickly address because losing Aspas, as you said, is a big deal. And we talk about how, you know, Lack here is back, what we expect, but surely QCK is under the most pressure ever from the fans, from the expectations, because he's got to replace Aspas.
See, you think he would be, but I really don't think he is. I think Loud is set up in a way where they're intentionally moving his role to something that makes sense for him. And I think that with the experience of the rest of this Loud team, they are the type of team who will do a good job at shrouding him from that scrutiny, not making him feel like he has to fill in for Aspas. Sure, that might be the case for the community. There's definitely going to be fans who are putting that pressure on him. Don't open Twitter. It's not that hard.
And not only that, again, I think that we need to be fair. The fact that QCK is not having probably the Aspas performance, can we just remember for a second that Aspas is Aspas? Like, no other player is going to be on that same position. He's because less is more. But seriously, if after, I think that this tournament could be literally like eye-opening for many people and probably big in his own development because we cannot expect someone to just arrive in here and be Aspas number 2. You don't need that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why Loud have reset themselves. That's why they're a new Loud. Loud was Loud before Aspas, back when it was a different team, but now they're back to it again. They actually never were Loud without Aspas, but it was Sadak, but it's
But it
always
was loud,
Sadak.
and it was kind of loud.
But they were loud, but they weren't loud.
Okay, we have loud, we have some old guard, we also have the old guard.
But we don't have the guard.
In Lakia, we don't have the guard, but we do have map select. So let's find out where our teams will be headed for this best of 3.
All right, welcome to match 2 map select presented by Omen. We will go ahead and jump in. Genji, you are the higher seed. Would you like team A or team B?
We team B.
Team B. So Loud, you will be team A, and we will start with your first ban.
We ban Lotus.
Lotus, your ban.
We ban Sunset.
Sunset. And map number 1 from Loud.
Icebox.
Icebox. Side on Icebox.
We attack.
Attack. And then map number 2 from Genji.
We pick Breeze.
Breeze. Side on Breeze.
Attack.
Attack. Okay, next set of bans starting with Loud. You have Ascent, Bind, and Split.
Split.
Split. Your ban, you have Ascent and Bind.
Ban Bind.
Ban Bind. Okay, so we will play map number 3 as Ascent. Loud. Side on Ascent.
Defense.
All right. Good luck to you both.
Thank you.
No confiaron, pero míralo. Llegó con lo mío.
G's Masters debut, but they have to take on the former world champions in Loud. But hey, this is how they got here, by pulling off upsets. But the question is, can they do it again?
It's going to be tough. My question here in this match that we're waiting to be answered is, how good is Gen G's prep? Can they figure out a way to crack this Phoenix breach stuff that Loud has been pulling out? They are playing a style that no one else in the world is doing right now, and I think this is really going to be a test for this Gen G team on how well they can come up with a game.
Yeah, exactly. And talking about the game plan, I think that we need to go back to that map, Vito, right?
Yes.
Because, you know, I was very surprised, and I think Gen G was just as surprised when they saw Loud finding something else that wasn't Breeze. And of course, they needed to take a minute to digest what is it going to be the plan. Not only they decide to find something different, I think that if this was a bait and that Breeze had always been ready, Gen G just bit right into it.
I think it is really interesting to see Loud leaving that open, going into that one. A lot of teams,
I wonder
when
what
they feel
Lex is
like
going to be playing.
Probably Viper. Very
Thank you, Mimi.
surprising.
God,
Yeah,
thank
you're
you.
really welcome. Yeah, but I think it is really interesting to see them go into this map that can a lot of times be more flippy. It can a lot of times be one that is one more of gunfight, individual performances. But let's rewind and talk about Icebox, our first map in this series. I think the comp head-to-head here is really interesting. Loud play the Harbor Viper that they have played for a long, long time. But Gen G are going into it with a Gecko KO composition, which I think could actually play up against that really nicely. Those flash combos, I think, are better than with that, say, the Reyna Gecko that we saw in that first matchup. It's a comp that you can kind of flood through these walls, fight forward on your defense, and Loud doesn't play against that a whole ton in Americas.
Yeah, we also got to mention that this is the first time we're seeing Loud playing Icebox on the global stage once again since the heartbreak they had to deal with in Brazil. So
The Icebox
Kuka,
incident.
yeah, I need to see them come out of it here more confidence and not to throw away a lead.
I see. That's how I'm gonna call the incident. But I think that this is probably the best testing ground, the best, you know, if you want to turn things around at an international stage, this is the moment to do it. This is the way that you do it. It has to happen on Icebox. And to go back into the compositions, I think that that is going to be a very, very big clash. And it's going to come down to a lot of the preparation. And it's going to be like the match that we previously had into how to read onto the opponent and adapt bit by bit. Because of course you're going to have your ideas and they're not going to align with what you see on the server.
Yeah, and for Gen G, you know, they have to come out here and prove that they are the #1 seed from Pacifics. You know, DRX didn't even make it here. So for me, again, I'm looking towards them and seeing maybe a closer and more competitive result.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Loud, I mean, we talked about this as a team that deals with pressure well because of the experience. But I think they definitely will want to prove themselves that losing that final to Sentinels was just an upset, that they still are the kings of the region. They've never had a moment, be it back in Brazil or once it came together into the Americas League, where Loud wasn't the best team coming from their home region. This is a rarity for this squad.
Yeah, exactly. They have a lot to prove, not only today, but throughout the rest of the tournament. They know that the world is watching, but we also know that most of the teams, by getting those reps into kickoff, they actually developed a lot more into how to read their opponents and how to overcome every single problem that they see on the stage. Now, I don't know if Loud has had enough. In my opinion, I think they needed a bit more.
But this is Loud we're talking about. I mean, we've spoken a lot about Sadak and Les, but they still got Tui's there, they still got Kawa there. These players, they don't really crumble under pressure.
I've made the mistake a lot of times of doubting this Loud team.
Yes.
Every time you doubt them, seemingly they come out no matter the roster, no matter who's
me. Every
on
time
it.
I doubted, I was like, when did I doubt them?
I think everyone has made the mistake at least once in their life, you know?
No, I mean,
oh, not you.
No,
You've
no,
never doubted.
Who can tell you, when they were playing against Fnatic, I literally went and take a shower, and then suddenly Fnatic just won.
Well, let's talk about this agent select here. You guys have mentioned it already, and this is what we're gonna see.
Yeah, exactly. But when we were talking about Loud, no, still having the Sova that probably has lost a little bit of his effect. I think that maybe when you combo it with the Harbor, you can have a little bit more of that sectioning and actually getting the exact information that you want. But I am a huge fan of Gecko, and especially with KO here, I think it can have the right edge onto how to Gen G can win this map.
On this attacking side, Gen G is going to be really willing to fight forward, especially on their B hits, flashing through, taking space in Snowman. I'm looking to see how well Loud can contain that aggression and play up against these flash combos, because their strength does come into those late rounds, into the retakes, when you have this super oppressive double controller utility to work back in.
Yeah, and also we don't know what we're gonna get on Breeze either, so I can't wait to jump into this map. We talked about the old guard, the new guard. Let's send it over to some new kids on the block, eh? How do you guys feel about Pansy and Hypok?
Oh, it feels good to have you back, Michael. How you doing?
Yeah, it's good to be back.
Yeah, missed it?
Short little stint vacation.
Love that
yeah.
for you. But you have a great matchup to come back to here.
What a delight. To start on Icebox as well. I mean, some really interesting points from the desk. For me, this composition is such a beautiful head-to-head. And it's partly down to what we saw from Texture, obviously, regionally, and how this is kind of just designed to counter 2Ease's utility and put Texture in that danger zone.
How fun to see him really under the microscope here. But we have to kind of talk bigger picture a little bit. It'd be a miss. A lot of people at home have been rating Gen G.
The stocks are high. Yeah.
Talent, analysts backstage, I mean, everyone's been talking them up. Now, it's been quite a few people's first and last mistake to doubt Loud in the past. Am I wrong to still put so much faith in Loud here? I don't know where I sit.
I'm kind of with you. I haven't bought in fully to Gen G, but I think this matchup is the one that could potentially validate a lot of that hype. If they can come out here, even, I mean, dare I say, in a loss, put up a good performance.
No, I think you're right. I think it is just kind of how do they look? What does Gen G look like on that international stage, which is what this is all about. Does it translate well? Have they got what they need? We know that Loud can do that. They've got, the previous reps. So there's a little tick in that box for me. But beyond that, we wait and see how they look. Because it's not like they've been flawless throughout their regular season. A lot of doubts have crept into people's minds. But we digress. As the round does begin, of course, that will mean that Gen G are on the attack. Loud on the defending side. And actually, we've got a triple walk up middle. That's going to be Munchkin's duty to try and deal with it, at least note it early enough. But the plant's going to come through. The attention is there from mid as well. So Kaunzine doing well to dismantle Munchkin and open up the options of pinching the site. But I like what Gen G are doing, focusing a little bit of that pressure towards CT.
Yeah, taking some space elsewhere, getting themselves set up ahead of now coming back through. But Sadak found two here for free onto Texture. And actually potentially getting a third, but Karen there to shut it down. Less with the response, but Diffuse already coming through here, Lauren. The beautiful cleanup from Loud. In the blink of an eye, Gen G unable to really convert that space into anything, any sort of security there over the site.
And you've got to say Sadak was the big proponent of that, right? The one who kind of cracked back through, dealt with that site pressure. It felt like he was really just lucky at kind of taking that CT space in the end. He kind of fell a little short when it was only him doing it. And as I said, you lose so much of the presence on the site itself. But again, explosive start for Loud here. That's a nice way to shake off any sort of doubts. You're like, all right, we got a good little beginning. Buyback here, though, for Gen G coming in on the Stingers.
Yeah, interesting to see what the plan's going to be. Well, I'm just going to run it down towards A site here. Stacked up outside. Some bodies in position here for Loud.
Who is it? We've got, what, 2E's just with the Ghost. Counting does have the Bulldog, so there's a little bit of backbone to it. And less as well, so actually pretty well equipped for this. But those Stingers could be a bit of a surprise coming out from this.
Once they get into Maze, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see how close they can get until the penny drops, right? And it's going to be about now. Texture going to note it, 1-for-1 trade out, less on the back line. Dealing with luck here, but now this is the problem, right? Can they still control this? Can Gen G break into securing this deeper part of sight? There's so many bodies here.
I mean, the fact that actually they've been able to maintain control. 2E's going to find one with a Ghost. ETO will fall, and there's two left to find here. So unfortunately, well, Munchkin does find one at range there. I was going to say, now that it actually slows down, Gen G in a tricky position. Karen has actually got himself a Bulldog here.
And he's been one of the players to watch, right? I know a lot of people talk about Texture, but Karen's mechanical capabilities, off the charts. Not going to get it this time, though. Sadak again, just kind of adding that little full stop to the round. No threats in the end. They do recover the Bulldogs that were maybe brought into question, but they're fine. They're back in hand, and they weather the storm. And Gen G, that Stinger bite, where'd you rate it on this?
I mean, again, if they're able to convert that into getting a little deeper on site here, once this utility kind of fades out, and Loud have these open sight lines, that's where the Stingers then become a little more difficult. Once you're still stuck ahead of sight, nobody's in nest, nobody can really pressure towards spawn or towards heaven. Stingers feel a little flat at that point.
Yeah, they fall short. Now we're going to have the Sheriff round coming out. Again, beyond this, I'm just looking for the game to almost settle in. The tempo is very high right now, very brawly. They're both willing to challenge. I want to see if Gen G do tempo pace at all, or if they continue along this sort of trajectory. This round not really going to be the highest indicator of it, but it's a good time to test, isn't it? You look across, see what Meteor's up to, see what he's finding out. What can he maybe derive from these sort of setups that Loud are playing? Can they pull these rotations? Where's the space?
I think Kaunzine maybe spotted 2 or 3 members, Gen G there. Happy to give up the spike, but Sadak actually almost catching the cross back here, so Loud with a very good read on Gen G's reposition here. Meteor didn't find anything on the other end. A very, very lax hold towards B, putting QCK in a position here, but delivers on the first. Munchkin will fall.
Yeah, he's not backing away yet. He's still good for another. Yeah, decides can't fall away from yellow. That's not particularly a problem. He's still got the KJ utility to support him. You've still got Sadak controlling middle. The one thing I'll say is that Meteor's got some good info here. This might have to then be an adjustment for the round following, that if they've noticed the deep setup coming out from the KJ, rather than maybe keeping more of an attentive look towards tunnel. Any more damage to be had here? Lakia with a good attempt. No connection. Now just carry on. 1v4. Spike could not be further away, and Comfy for less.
A clean start here for Loud, a 3-0 scoreline. Gen G toying with a little bit of investment here to maybe try and catch them off guard.
Any ults nearby?
Nothing really on the brink for Gen G. A couple of ultimates on the brink, though, for Loud. Kawanzin, one off the Hunter's Fury.
Lovely.
The lockdown next in line after that. Need to see a response here from Gen G, though, because the credit's starting to stack on the side of Loud. Themselves very comfortable.
QCK looking like he wants to go for the operator, too. Kind of considering the options. I mean, he was up to 7K. He has every right to fancy his chances, but again, very different setup. Hard to get a bit of a beat on what Loud are up to, and it looks like Munchkin right off the rip wants to take space. Sadak has to respond, respect that he can't do this alone, because again, look at where they were pressured, where they were looking at the start. Sadak just waiting. He's got the support now, calling in Kawanzin. Tui's as well towards CT, so they've responded. I don't think that knife was going to really locate much. Clearing close, so they know that yellow is the next step.
Yeah, not a massive tell on the back of that. Usually still going to take the space here. Loud happy to concede. Doesn't really seem like there's any pressure point here for Gen G to try and exploit.
No, I'm looking for that late mid presence, right? Meteor maybe starting to drift that way, but Sadak will be watching it. Whether or not he can win the fight, yet to be seen. Looks like the deep flash is being set up. Anyone going to try and utilize that? There's the high flash going in, and Sadak does find Lakia, but that's not the mid lurk. Texture breakthrough towards CT, and he looks to secure some space. But again, remember, roll your mind back. The pressure on the site was too much before for Gen G to handle, and once again, from a similar position, less punishing. It was Sadak before, it's less now, and his Texture with a world of trouble. Less out on top, and this again, Loud have lovely positioning on this side hold.
A great awareness from Loud to understand how Gen G are going to approach versus this composition. We talked about the possibilities behind Munchkin and Lakia to set up Texture. You see Loud just concede all this space. They anticipate exactly what's going to happen. Sadak actually shutting down Meteor at the perfect time as well.
This position is going to be the death.
Even that didn't even catch that. The recon pinging just behind the wall, anticipating Gen G had stacked up, ready to challenge 2E's utility.
Did they note the operator? I don't know if that, I don't think I heard it rattle, because it was QCK mostly holding towards A solo, so I don't know if they've quite got that. Maybe understanding the possibility, but see if they're fully aware of it now. Time to shine. QCK. 5 potential victims. So Stingers again, happy to run this. And the right read from Loud. They have the 3 players here. There's the flash to force him away. That was a kill and a half if he got the chance, but lovely side pressure. This is lovely. That's much better from Gen G. Look at how comprehensive that take was. It's forced them into a retake. It's taken away the operator. This is very nice.
Hunter's Fury and the lockdown available here for Loud, though, if they choose to invest. And actually, weapons haven't been recovered, so these Stingers need to tuck into sight here. Still find value. 2E's caught off guard here, will fall.
Love that from Texture, staying a little bit deeper, willing to put his life on the line, and they're just willing to brawl it. Willing to fight it out. Sadak trying to take the space back, but there's still so many players. This was outstanding by Gen G, really turning the screws on that side take. They want Sadak dead. Trying to get out with the operator, but he's hunted down. Texture close by. Can he keep hold of this? Sadak desperate to. Trying to leave a little note for them on the way out, but yeah, it looks like he's made it away for now. I'm just keep eyes on this, because that is a prized possession, and Munchkin's got it out of his cold, dead hands. Now, Mike, that side take, that pressure, there was no safety there for Loud.
I mean, you can see the value from the utility. I mean, both players force off these early angles. Nothing really from the operator, no pressure on an early angle. And straight away, Texture and Karen find kills, and early on we see this was the intention with that earlier Stinger purchase, but this time around able to find the value on the way in.
Yeah.
And Loud have to respect it.
Yeah, that was really quite special to watch.
With a response there in terms of a kill to trade back for Loud, they have tools, they have the Hunter's Fury, the lockdown to come back into that, but didn't seem feasible for them.
MasterCard Thrifty too, in case you missed it. That was still those Stingers, those Sheriffs, and now with a little bit of the ults behind it, they should be able to clear sight very comfortably. Gen G showing us what they can do here. Obviously known for the individuals, but this execution works well. Now we see Loud with numbers though. This could be the difference. There's the lockdown. There's the counter utility. They're starting to build back in and force them away with the spike planted. How do they deal with the back line though?
So what did Loud get done whilst this lockdown's going through? The Hunter's Fury posted on QCK on the flank, found by Texture. Beautiful headshot here, and Loud seemingly just get nothing but space. Look at the HP bars here for Gen G, but Les will remove Lakia.
Good shot, but they're still not on the spike.
No.
The defuse still not started. There are problems here for Loud. Zadak with the first tap, but it's traded. Again, still numbers sitting well enough for Gen G. They've got to break that back line. Cowanzine desperately trying to do so. Texture, he's on it, and he's absolutely belting in this game so far. I've got to
So
say
active. He came all the way back through there and found a kill in mid.
Wow.
Closes out the 3K on site. Cowanzine did, for a moment, slip the net there, unnoted, but couldn't find another kill. Like I said, it was crucial, really, what Loud could achieve in that time of the lockdown. But it wasn't anything. No safety here. Tumi's not even really able to secure a half defuse or anything with the Cove. Early timeout called here from Loud.
Probably the right choice, because, I mean, they've been presented something that they don't have a solution to yet, and that was with
a Thrifty
Hunter's Fury
yeah.
and a lockdown.
Yeah.
That was meant to be the one where you think, oh, okay, well, the last one they caught off guard, maybe didn't have the opportunity to use all that util. Okay, well, this time they're still on the full buy and they've got everything they need. That still worked out just as well, so credit where it's due, and starting to see Texture warming up here. That's another tick in the box.
And I don't believe this time I was really to make many adjustments this early on, especially with this scoreline, maybe to just quell any sort of momentum Gen G are going to get off that Thrifty and a fast hit. Definitely keep our eyes on what the response is if Gen G decide to continue with this pace, because now, obviously, Bladestorm invested, there's the pit available, a lockdown of their own in the hands of Meteor, Munchkin, off the null command as well, so definitely tools to continue with that sort of pace and seemingly get a site for free off the back of the lockdown and secure with the pit. Now, I'd have to have a bit of awareness here. Well, they want to dig a little deep. Obviously, QCK now no operator to play with. A little bit of a broken buy, actually, if you look at Cowanzine.
Yeah,
on top of that.
2 players, be able to get that full
X2 is brought down to 600 as well.
And it looked like Gen G were considering readdressing that B site, but back to what worked, and a more proactive beginning on the B side of the map as well for Loud, already going to post up QCK and drift back over, so maybe a little bit of a different look, but Gen G have tools now. They have that lockdown for themselves, so once again should allow safe passage towards the site.
Actually, the response there, yeah, Les going to put out the pit to try and prevent any sort of value on site. Can he get back into the zone? Texas, look at the challenge!
Look at that guy! Oh my word, Cowanzine, that's a little bit of an upset for him, but he took down Texture at the very least. I guess you're going to have to get what you're given at that point, but Lakia didn't relent. He didn't fall away, and he still got 2. And now into a 2v3. Numbers favorable to Gen G, and that post plant, again, brutal to break. What can Tui's and QCK do? Luckily, yes, QCK did get a rifle now, so maybe a little better equipped. But that back line, it's always that last sentence in this Icebox chapter. How do you get around it? Look at the util again. QCK with a glimpse towards the spike gets warded off. Meteor willing to live close by. Again, the utility poured in. Meteor getting closer, just ensuring it. He doesn't want to even let it go to chance or lose his life, but the time's already lost. And again, Gen G showing off a little now.
Texture with a hero play here to shut down any sort of re-aggression from Loud as soon as that lockdown's expired. I think it's actually a second ahead of it as well. So he's catching maybe a couple of people with their backs turned. You know, here, yeah, Cowanzine, that's unfortunate. To obviously lose less in that situation, because he did post the pit. I was curious whether or not he had the timing to get back into that to maintain, but...
Oh, they're loving it.
One more round to tie things up, and even with that broken purchase previously, Loud able to maintain rifles here.
Feels almost ridiculous that they can get a buyout, right? It just felt so out of kilter.
Texture catching a stray there.
It's the first time we're starting to see Gen G re-explore a little, already show something towards B. It's not a great deal yet, but the pace feels different already. So Loud knows something has changed. It's just what's changed.
See the pings here. They're also going to hear QCK fall back from B main here. You can see Gen G stacking up behind this, leaving Meteor the solo lurk to So QCK will be called upon here.
This is a lot to handle. And he takes the scalp of one. Caron gone. He's going to fall back safely. Probably the right choice here, but they did lose less on the other side of the map, so almost trade out here, right? You've got less gone, Caron gone, but now where do they go? Gen G have a little bit of the run of the map here. They can try and pull those rotations. And a lot of faith being left in QCK because they're going back towards A.
And now with a decent read on this, on the back of that information, Karanzin's our drone, but are they expecting everybody? Yeah, it's a very late hit here too. He's throwing up another wall, but the null command will be the catalyst here.
30 seconds left.
Gen G going to try and brute force their way on here. Texture to lead the charge.
Karanzin's so blind. Again, these side takes between Larkia's flash, between the flash coming out from Munchkin. It is just gorgeous to witness. So well crafted that even in those final seconds of the round, when it was late, it still looks comfortable. This asks a lot of QCK. He started well, he's going to have to end even better. Third, oh yes, oh my word.
He was almost on for the adjustment there.
Yeah, I thought he might have that, but Meteor there, safe pair of hands, and Gen G looking like the real deal here, Mike.
I mean, able to overcome Loud in a situation where, like I said, they actually timed that perfectly with the Owl drone. Only spotting Meteor, but not over-rotating. And this is something that I get noted, especially in the Secret matchup regionally. Gen G really struggled with some of these later round hits where, you know, they don't win out on the initial plan. The perfect example here of something maybe they've cleaned up in the downtime.
They're happy with it. QCK trying to get in their faces though. Oh dear. You feel a bit silly now, don't you?
The awareness, obviously the knife has pinged him, so diligent by Gen G, but Meteor, a very deep position already. All the way up to Boiler here.
Stop dipping. Not what you wanted
dry
there.
though.
Yeah, no support, no flash, nothing. And there's Meteor striking as well. They've just found layers to this. They found availability, right? They're starting to really turn the screws. Sight still, oh my word. A little bit of damage, yes, don't get me wrong. It is a 1v3, but you look at the HP. Look at what Les is working with. Oh, he's barely breathing. Gonna wheeze his way out of this round probably. Texture though, he fancies his chances. Deeper angle, tricky to clear. Diligent from Les. Doesn't matter though, does it? Gen G tipping the scales now into their hands. 5 now to the good. And Loud haven't had an answer. And I love seeing this kind of little bit of a look back towards, you know, testing middle a little bit here. Didn't do it instantly after learning of that space that Meteor garnered way earlier in this game. And now starting to flex into it into round 9, starting to really punish the stack that they've had to put towards A, but still not able to break Gen G's approach.
And just coming back to what we did see regionally, it was on the attacking side where Gen G looked a little lost for, you know, any sort of mid-round ideas, how to really pivot out of tricky situations here. I'm not even really seeing what their win condition was, which was Munchkin kind of dominating late rounds on solo efforts, Texture doing the same thing in the early round. A little bit concerning here that Gen G have relatively easily taken total control for the first half of Icebox here. It's only 1 round separating them though.
Deep flash, trying to work off the back of it. Texture
quarter, yeah.
Yeah, a little unfortunate, and we've seen that position do well. Yeah, Loud still seem to have such a good read on this B take. But anywhere else, if they go away, they're screwed. Yeah, Loud, just with a quick reminder of who they are here. The Munchkin, rough position. Does at least have time on his side, but he's got a lot of targets to handle. Goes up, lovely adjustment, but now there's problems. 9 HP in a bit of a dream, and that is not where you wanted it to go. Still got to do more here. Pressure, up close and personal. QCK gonna close out the round with a defuse coming in from 2Es, but again, Loud's problems weren't on B. It was that A take that we saw Gen G running against them that worked.
It's similar to before where we see them obviously concede this space. They're happy to have somebody watching the backside of this Viper wall, but they anticipate all of this aggression all the way towards Snowman. Less actually the one to shut it down, seal the deal on that control, but Gen G already built up a bit of a bankroll with that string of rounds. Comfortable in the purchase, just about getting back towards some of these key ultimates coming online. On the side of Loud. Karanzin and 2Es, who have theirs available. Operator back in the hands of QCK as well. Curious what he can get done now.
Okay, well, it's been noted early, and it's a 3-2 split for now, right? So they're going to try and keep touch on both sides of the map. But Sadak, are you ready for this? Absolutely not. Karon was holding this. We've seen a couple of rounds of them holding deep like this. It got checked on maybe once, but it's not every round. So a little bit of variety, catching Loud out once again, opening up that opportunity towards A. QCK, you look at the backfield, the timing is everything, though. He's got support, 2-3 players all looking towards middle. This is massive! And a great shot from him. He needs to play this out! He needed more than that, but luckily for him, there was support, but Karon again still there. Still getting the favorable trade, still getting the spike back to hand, and it's just less now. They've no idea where he is fully, right? They're gonna lose track of that, but with 50 seconds, what does less do?
I'm curious now of whether or not he's even caught a step. Knows that obviously the turret was removed previously. Whether or not they have a read on where Meteor's utility is going to be, I guess by default. We'll be here to hear the plant at least.
He's guessed correctly. But it's just... Oh my word! Oh! Karon! This guy is impressing me. You got Texture kind of the headliner, right? The guy towards the top of it, yeah, absolutely ripping open some of these rounds, but Karon mechanically looking sharp to close. So again, very impressed with Gen G here. Very impressed.
And I'm curious if this is kind of something that Loud want to drill with Sadak to be the one to force the issue all the way out of B. Whether or not it's just the turret's there, they anticipate that the heavier lean for Gen G is outside A here, and Sadak's going to maybe have a 1v1. Or maybe somebody lurking up towards spawn ramp. But shut down so quickly that it gives Gen G so many options. With the Killjoy falling first.
Just checking if anyone's getting up close. Not going to be rewarded for that, but again, kind of Gen G slipping into more of a default, right? Maybe expecting that Loud be going exploring, which they've been rewarded by in the last couple of rounds. That mid presence, that lurk up B. They've truly got that kind of. I'd say understanding of the tempo that Loud wants to do.
Almost trying to bait it out here with Lakia posturing a little bit with the Odin, but Loud not biting. Obviously less down on a stinger, so whether or not you see any sort of aggression here or wait to maybe retrieve a weapon off a trade or something like that. The knife going to give things away. Up on 45 seconds left here for Gen G, but their sights set towards A.
4-play stack. High flash goes in.
Gold Command's going to come out here.
Yep. That's going to be ready to go. So again, we were crediting and complimenting these late round hits. Loud have numbers, but do they have the ability to stop the roll from Gen G? Already, sight is theirs. It's so comprehensive from Gen G. Viper's Pit 2, what are you going to do against this?
So many tools there. Hang on, Karon just got warbanged. The pit's down.
Oh
Lockdown's going to expire here, and actually the reaggress here on Tui's and Kawan Z's ultimate.
Texture, hold on, still in a good position. Oh, the drive fight from Sadak! Ridiculous! This is how Loud
gave them the lockdown!
Okay, and there it is. Gen G forced to respect it, have to drift away. Still trying to keep eyes towards the spike. Where is this? Great shot towards Tui's. Wants the fob, gets the fob!
He got detained!
Oh no! He just jumped a touch forward. Munchkin now, forced to go in here. Has to hold it together. He can't do it! Loud fighting back in the last round of the first half. Barely closing this up.
What a ridiculous back and forth for the final round of this half. So many ultimates in play. The pendulum really swinging. And such a crucial kill to shut down the Viper's Pit. That's the stranglehold that Gen G had, Lauren. And that drive-by is ridiculous from Sadak.
It just felt inhuman. You know, Loud will give you a couple of those, I think, but I think credit where it's due. That 5-round run that Gen G went on was masterful. Outstanding. Let's see what the desk thinks of this.
Oh, I'm so happy Icebox is back. What a start that was, and a great half of Valorant. But it's time to jump into our HyperX reflex of moment of the day. And this one goes to Texture.
Yeah, exactly. I think that this is probably the moment where we see Gen G back into the game after Loud gets all those rounds. And it's Texture getting all these kills and doing so in a couple of rounds in a row, actually being that determining piece.
ओ भाई मेरा ये बंद था मैं कितना बेवकूफ हूँ
Because they're very well positioned. But if we overwhelm them, we can make it through.
Texture and Karon, both these players who were great in Pacific, showed up here in the first half. But I think what made it for Gen G was that flash combo and how they built those egg sacks. The KO Gecko combo, especially when going A, was excellent, and Loud was always forced to play into retakes. And towards the end of that first half, Loud's retakes
भाई
really
चार्जर
started to
से बोल
speed
रखी है
things up. In particular, some of these rounds where they're kind of intentionally playing back, waiting till they hear that flash combo, and then instantly swinging forward to flood. It was really great adaptation by Loud to bring a half 6-6 that really seemed like it was going to be dominant for Gen G.
Yeah, exactly. And now thinking about the switch, like how is this going to look from the defense? I want to see Texture just jumping up on them. I want to find that balance that I've seen from them in many other maps, just knowing when to aggress and knowing when to give the space. I feel like there was a bit of overheating coming from Loud in some of these rounds, just because they wanted to show they're the better team, they have the upper hand, and I think that calming things down probably gave Gen G some advantage here.
Yeah, Loud on this attack side, when they're playing the Harbor Viper, they're really good at kind of playing the mid round a little bit, using the cascades to take extremities, and then having these powerful late round sight hits. But again, this is going to be about the retakes. The Gecko KO comp is really strong at that. Gen G honestly should be favored here.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, I smell a little upset coming up, but let's jump into back into the second half and see.
अपसेट नहीं है भाई, जीतेगी तो जेनजी, अपसेट नहीं होता वो, अपसेट तब बोले लाउड जीतेगी.
Yeah, so I completely smell it on that one. It stinks. It stinks. You can smell it. The upset is in the air. 6-6. There is something in this game that we can't ignore. Gen G coming out looking good, backing up the words that they were happy to bring out. That hey, we weren't here when Gen G, when Loud were winning champion. None of that. So it's like, okay, we'll see. We'll see if it's actually there. If it's all just
Clash.
But for now, quick pace coming out from Loud. Making no secrets of this, but Texture, Lakia, they're all there, and they are all winning out these fights.
Nice.
Just counted a Texture.
भाई टेक्सचर क्या मारता है यार. Let's go.
Love to see it. This guy is getting fired up.
And this is a pistol round that's almost designed to take control back, get themselves back in control of the tempo after that first half. But Loud absolutely shut out of B-side. Bodies in place here from Gen G.
Raisa. Raisa. Oh. Bye.
But still, what can Les do with this anymore? You can maybe claim pride's sake. He's being toyed with though. Texture's going to back off from that one. He's not liking what he's seeing, but still, what a start here.
Here's Munchkin really putting up numbers versus Secret that individually just looked absolutely phenomenal. Have another performance like that here. With that round 2 of the second half. Already off to a good start in that regard. Les is going to be given consolation here. He's going to make sound to drop off here. That's Karen to be the first, but once again, shut down here. Gen G. 2 rounds to kick off the second half. In early response here, you saw how quickly Gen G were able to carry away once they did get control in the first. That was after Loud started 4-0.
You can't ask for much better, can you? You have your probably, your big name players. Texture already having a great start. Then you're pumping up Munchkin as well, starting to feel out the game. I mean, Munchkin's one away from his ult.
Yeah.
It's
round
right
3,
there.
yeah.
Wow, got to answer back here.
He's going to get it.
अल्ट आ गई पिटाई हो गई.
Outside A.
रीटेक होगा, रीटेक बढ़िया.
Okay, had a chance there to swing onto Lakia, but respecting it. So contact found, and he actually dashes all the way out.
ये कैसे खेलता है? मंचकिन भाई कैसे खेलते हो आप?
55 HP, obviously with the ultimate. Maybe a second chance at life here. You do decide to invest. 2 Guardians, 2 Bulldogs. Next year with a scope in hand, so.
Hello?
A little bit hesitant here. from Loud. I mean, they have successfully baited out the ultimate, but Munchkin still delivers. QCK will fall.
Goal.
Get that round he had one prior. I don't think he's swinging that on the HP, but he just delivers it again. Caron on the back lines, great shot towards Sadak, and they've just capitulated. They've faltered, which is very anti-Loud. Can they pick it up here? Munchkin is still down low. Counts to find it, but no, Munchkin's still going to hold that line just perfectly.
15 HP, still delivering.
He's still holding. He's buying time for this flank. Look where Texture is. Look at the minimap right now. Come back to watching Munchkin. If he can buy a couple more seconds, precious time, that's perfect. So he's going to tuck himself in, make him try and hunt him
They get
down.
spotted. They spotted the rifle.
He's cleared, but there's Texture. That's what it was all about, trying to buy time for him. But now the position's noted. For 13 seconds, this puts two. He's right under the gun. He's got to get that plant, or he's got to toy with the time and try and catch out Texture. But Texture's looking ice cold. He's looking like a killer. He's moving in close.
Nice.
Off to a flying start in the second half.
Beautifully done. Munchkin running down the clock.
Nice.
Kill comes through. It's traded out at the perfect time by Texture. Tui's just so many question marks after that. Tries to get the cove down, tries to bait it out with the first tap of the spike, but Munchkin, man, like I said, 15 HP still delivering, digging his heels in here. That's a 3-0 start here. Loud back down to a broken purchase. Some pistols, a stinger. Tui's an ultimate to work with, but not much else really to pin your hopes to.
Point, unless
अबे यक दिया भाई फ्रेंजी ऐसी है और मेरे को फ्रेंजी इतनी अनट्रस्टेबल लगती है ना भाई कुछ भी होता है कुछ भी अभी देख जैसे बोले ओ भाई
So I'm sure the desk will, hit on that afterwards, and we will, I'm sure, harp on about it. But this is certainly scary times for Loud and the fans. As Gen G looking meticulous, flawless in this.
Double digits already here. Loud, very precarious in terms of their finances here as well, because they're going to buy back in here. Potentially, if they concede this, it's 11. This is a pivotal round in terms of the outcome of map 1 here. Sadak's able to really convert the damage through the wallbang there. Again, I don't think it really would have made too much of a difference. Gen G well equipped on both sides of the map.
They're having fun. Every round seems fun to them, which is, it sounds silly, but it makes such a difference.
Yeah, and the concern being coming into round 17, there aren't enough real playmakers in terms of the ultimates here to string together. For Loud, they need to do some heavy lifting here to find their way into this. Stui's is there, but feels a little flaky in a full 5v5 execute to throw that ultimate out.
So early.
Texas spotted it out as well. I mean, look at how deep Gen G are pushing now. Yep. They're so happy to continue this limit testing here and forcing Loud. I mean, look at the minimap now. There's no other options really.
Too risky to go anywhere else. So.
Well, Loud are still considering it. With 60 seconds on the clock, they're going to potentially re-explore mid or A.
I just feel like I haven't seen Loud play like this in a long time.
It's hesitant once again. Yeah. Noted it in the first half.
Which is bizarre. It could prove a nice little fake, having Sadak do this to be one to show.
अच्छा साउंड दिया उसने इसका फ्लैश आएगा
That is huge, but again, I'm looking at the 2 players on A. Now, less core texture. That's the one that mattered. There is still a man close by. That being Lakia. Can he do any damage? Can he be the man to blow? Not this round. Not
loud by loud play था ये तो
and looking to dominate, looking
Late
to
round.
make sure it was worth it. A long played.
नहीं यूटिल नहीं डाला
Very valuable and very well handled. It's just Meteor now. Position is noted. And Loud. Looking like they clawed one back.
वहाँ से मारेगा वो देख राइट में
So need to keep it clean here. I just want to see Meteor getting any other consolation. A must-win round for Loud, and they deliver. They're taking 4 rifles, a little bit better in terms of the progress towards his ultimates now. A crucial kill from Sadak and Cowanzine to remain outside B site here. Try and catch a rotation. It just so happened at pretty much exactly the same time. The other half of Loud did find success on A as well, catching, I believe it was Texture to fall first. And Akia second on the chopping block. Operator back out for Texture here, Blade Storm in hand, but I said with that round victory, actually Loud now with the upper hand in terms of this ult cycle. Nothing available just yet, but look towards the Hunter's Fury, obviously the pit and the lockdown in this composition. All within touching distance.
Well, the mid-walk will have limited success, at least initially, because of the turrets. That should alert Loud that there was an attempt, but no one particularly fussed by it just yet. Still very focused on this approach. Again, these 3-2 splits. Last time it was more kind of 4-1, Sadak being the one to pressure towards A. And look at the pull of rotations. 4 players in response. This could be quite, you know, the masterclass if Sadak can keep calling
मरा बी जाएंगे वो किल मिल गया 3 बंदे बी
But now Loud needs to strike, right? They need to kind of find that timing to hit B here. Caron is holding.
They need to capitalize because Munchkin's slowly edging, making his way through mid, under tube. Plant will come down. I don't think Karen can deny. Nearly set up on a retreat though.
Okay, they got what they wanted.
We do have a late Hunter's Fury here though, so whether there's any backline awareness or Munchkin's going to be the one to potentially try and shut that down. Much invested, but not going to find anything on the back of that.
No, so now we wait and see. Does that pressure start mounting? Can Gen G break the back line? They've already pulled Munchkin back through towards the standardized approach. This is now going to get scary, right? There's the Hunter's Fury, going to be drawn out from the tap of the spike. Spray from Tui's is good. Follow-up is better. They're holding on to this. Munchkin going down and Tui's. Exceptional work there. Loud finding life, finally.
Well, a couple of those and potential to break the funds of Jet. Actually, even looking at it here, Cameron's down at 2350. Maybe that's why we see the timeout here. You have to string something together, but really well coordinated here. It's obviously QCK, heartbreaking to ever see a death like that. He's just a split second away from maybe slipping into a more dangerous position.
But the overall picture, it's Loud achieving great success on these kind of fakes. I say fakes, but it's just kind of showing presence on the other side of the map. I mean,
it's just a widespread default that they are finding value on both extremities.
But it is so
लिखना पड़ रहा है साथ में इतना बुरा अजीब लग रहा है.
So I'm not going to doubt it, right? It's silly to doubt something that is proving fruitful, but as said, when you saw QCK catching some really bad timing, fortunately Kalenzine was there. But it's quite precarious. They're willing to make these risks, which is working out for them really well here. Forcing the timeout from Gen G. The gap getting close enough, they thought, okay, let's pump the brakes a little here. We don't want that momentum, almost a response to what we saw from an earlier timeout from Loud. So very symmetrical in that matter. So we kind of check in on the ult, almost again, very symmetrical in that regard, both very close by. So this isn't just back in Loud's control. I think these have been some quite precarious rounds they've run. Obviously Loud being as good as they are, they make them work, exceptionally done. Now they're into the meat of it though.
The concern being if you have somebody that's going to deliver for Gen G, I guess across the map and from an individual standpoint, players like Texture, like Munchkin, potentially even Karen in these situations. I mean, he was called upon the previous round, but not much of a chance to really stop that plant from going down. That's when it feels a little uneasy.
Late switch as well. Just about, yeah. So Texture going to go for the operator, soloing out here, looks like.
Yeah, very, very early indication here of some aggression on the side of Gen G. Loud have to respect it now. I think initially they were going to throw a little bit of U2 out. Texture. To control that op shot. Could have been rewarded one. Karen.
How did he get seen there?
Not entirely sure, but both snake bites used, and now doesn't really have the security to play up close and personal. As Loud look to re-aggress, but will shut down the owl drone. So question mark still here.
Audacious from Munchkin to be the one to go back.
Oh, nice.
Oh, come on. That's filthy. Backbreaking for Loud as well, just to lose out to that judge. They got the upgrades they wanted. Loud was willing to die for that. That's fine. He'll take that every day of the week. You guys lock it down afterwards. I've done the damage. Less than QCK now in that position at yellow. Could be the end of the Munchkin. Still holding on to this one.
अगर इसने oh nice.
Loses out and less now.
अरे teammate flash.
So little opportunity.
This is so bizarre. I think at some point Karen spotted whether or not they don't see he's got a judge, I think is the issue. The knife obviously removes the owl drone and immediately Gen G re-aggress. They post up close once again. You see here just under the minimap. Obviously the suppress onto Kalenzine. Loud just caught off guard a little bit here.
but a nice gambit, right? A nice little just, okay,
sure,
get the judge, play up close, see what we can do, right? And you're willing to give it a run. We're back into a more traditional looking round, it seems. I think apart from UCK, but he does have his ult, so that's not a problem. But a Brawl looking to break out. Lucky the first one forward, finds the scaffold too. He's looking for the follow-up. He's going to get at least detected it, but backups arrive. Caron, Munchkin, all here. Dizzy goes out. Lucky is still buying time. Stanak still putting up numbers though. Body's starting to drop here. Can he do any more damage? Lucky his nerve. I don't know how he's still doing this. Oh, less lovely work from him. But look, you can see the Texture is on the way. Meteor, how long do you hold here? How long are you going to stay
Look at the flank
here?
from Texture.
He's on the way, but...
He's already on the outside of this lockdown.
Oh my word, Meteor. Scary to me. A bit curious. Yeah, don't know what the plan was there. Right, did I miss something?
A little bit curious. There is a space in that, so he had a chance to at least, I don't know, take a 50-50 back up into the corner there.
Better than a 0. I mean...
Because then Texture's completely caught off guard.
Yeah, that was...
Scratching my head a little bit over that one, but I mean, maybe just a little frantic, maybe expecting Loud to push up and maybe, I guess, lack a little complacency. But after the start of this round where Gen G time and time again have shown they're happy to be aggressive on A, yeah, left scratching their head as well.
Maybe we missed something, maybe so did Gen G at that point.
I mean, I did touch on this initially, the plans for Gen G, talking back to some of these series that we saw recently, initial plan, and things kind of just going really skew if after that falls apart. They're not really knowing what to do, not really having any direction when, you know, there's sort of a little bit of chaos, or there's some questions to answer mid-round, and a reaction is really required from them. Yeah, I'm not sure.
And funny enough, it's a timeout from Loud here. Just
take stock of things, obviously you're getting towards the end of this Gen G up on 11 rounds, but...
Look at the string of rounds, though. It has been the 2 back-to-back for Loud with those lovely kind of, wider defaults, more exploratory towards A as well. One right back into it, and then the answer is then as a very uncharacteristic round, kind of caught us all off guard. But we refocus and we look towards what we're seeing, and Gen G's money has suffered.
Yeah, I mean, 2 Guardians and a Vandals come into this, but look at what the old cycle is potentially going to be in the next round for them.
Snowball.
Yeah. Lots of things at their disposal.
Varun, hello.
On the other side, QCK, an operator back in hand once again. Is he happy to continue? I mean, it's 4 deep here on A side. Now going to try and make a quick decision.
Shots.
Les absolutely decapitates Lakia.
Les is pretty decent at this game, isn't he?
Texture going to swing on it as well. Yep.
Oh! The baiting though, they tried to play him in off it, but it looked like Laudo is starting to really get that read. Starting to feel a bit more comfortable, seeing a little bit of that diligence, kicking back into place. Meteor and Munchkin just trying to make anything happen, and Les is having none of it really, just free farming now. He's already got his ult. Oh, the boobs, not going to happen there, Munchkin.
Really, really well handled anti-eco here, and that's the sort of composure we expect from Loud to punish these sort of plays, keep Gen G in check. I mean, to say that though, 11-10 the scoreline, still need to tie things up. Bladestorm out of the equation, but these big ultimates still available for Gen G. Lockdown, no command, and the pit.
They are looming, right? There is that slight worry. It's just kind of hanging over
कितना लिखा हुआ है?
Because we're already at this scoreline here.
तो कितना लिखने का काम दे देते इतना भाई पागल से बना।
Some of these round victories, it's been really telling. They were the ones really that set the precedent at the start of this map, and in my eyes have continued.
I agree. Now, the QCK this time. Maybe work on the back of that Aldo, clearing the space towards B. We do see there is a player tucked in by Yellow, and massive rotations actually. 4 players being called back in towards B. Just off the back of a lack of any audio cues, any presence towards A. Maybe putting stock in this now after falling foul to those A presence plays, but already you can see that flash coming in.
Nice.
With a fantastic double, finding Les, finding Counting, and they are running.
Yeah, Texture. The anchor over towards A. Sorry, Sadak. Oh,
you seen him?
Does catch a glimpse. But a crucial 1v1 here.
Does it go again? Texture. You can see him. He was considering it for a second, but he thinks better of it, right? Play safe, play your life. The double pump.
Wait, yeah, Tui's just completely faked this out with that utility.
Look at that spike running. That's open. And the lockdown. And you know what, if Sadak
This is
feels like
devastating.
he's being a Galaxy Brain, get into middle if you feel like he could, but he's going to back up his boys, get back towards the site. They're going to get a plant out. They don't know the level of success they've had, but they could not have asked
They
for a
played
better
it, guys.
outcome, making the impossible possible. And now how deep does QCK go here?
एक मिला.
That's perfect. Meteor's out of there. Fair. Now, 3v3. Ridiculous. Munchkin still got ult, still got knife. Not much utility outside of that, though. Where do they find that success?
No,
QCK at yellow here.
no flash to really open things up here, so it's going to be a dry gunfire on the way back through. Munchkin drifting pretty deep here.
Here we go. This is a scary time. Spots him for
spot
a
him.
second. A pixel out of place. But he's worried about the fuse texture. Flashing QCK. I thought he saw it, but maybe it's just a stray shot. Dewey's now getting paranoid, getting pulled in, and maybe Texture going to close that gap. He's trying to. Sadak in the same sort of position, and now Dewey's. Oh, he's overwhelmed. Gen G.
Let's go.
This time, he's going to the wire.
Oh my god!
No way.
And again, it's a little chaotic there because I don't think the communication is clear on whether or not the diffuse is being stuck.
No, they have no idea.
Both individual players from Loud, I think, spot out two members of Gen G, but they're just charging to it. Maybe they think they had the timing down and they just need to get bodies off the spike, but this kill onto Sadak here almost seals the deal with Tui spamming so much. 0.26 will get Gen G to map point here.
Oh, wow. That is a kick to the guts for Loud, though, isn't it? Feeling winded after that one, after calling the perfect rotation.
That felt done.
Yeah.
Loud have done everything they needed to.
He's going walkabouts in Sadak. He's missed his timing to catch this. It will eventually show, sure, but now...
Yes.
Space gone. Oh, this scares me. This scares me.
Bhai, how does he know?
Texture could be in for a blinding round. Bear in mind, he could get played in the luckier here as well. There is that opportunity.
This is rough because the pings are coming out. You can see on the minimap here, Nest and Pipes have been pinged.
No idea about Texture.
Oh my god.
Does he keep his cool?
He just hard cleared under on the wrong side.
Oh my god, they line up!
Nice!
Down the lock, swings in at the last minute, punishing Kalanzine. This is looking like Loud is on the ropes in map one here. Opportunity dwindling, less than two, he's gonna have to dig deep now.
That's been entertained. Up on Pipes here.
अगर ये मरा.
Left standing, but Lackey will fall now.
Need more.
अबे यार ले बहुत बढ़िया है यार सोलो. बहुत बढ़िया.
Spike still in the hands of Tui's, and let's try to control
तब डॉट क्रॉसर यूज करता है बंदा. देखो भाई भाई यहाँ पे तो इम्पॉसिबल है इसे मारना.
What an absolute beast! When Loud needed him, he was there.
And Gen G just seemingly no awareness that he was going to stay tucked into that corner.
I thought there was going to be Texture's moment, right?
भाई वो कॉर्नर है लेस का भाई वो वहाँ से मारता है यार.
Bailout from Lakia coming in less. What is
He's
that?
just so clean. I mean, even here to react to Munchkin.
भाई बहुत बढ़िया एम है यार लेस का. हर बार यहीं पे मारता है खड़े.
And that will break the bank as well. Ultimate's invested. Karen's still with the pit, but I feel like Loud come out of that gleaming. Definitely with the upper hand here. A pit of their own, one away from the lockdown, two off the Hunter's Fury as well. And a shot to the heart of Gen G, who probably felt like they were closing out map one there, Lauren.
Oh man, yeah. Come on, you're feeling that, right? Like you, as said, you look at that mini map, you play that back in your mind, you think, how does that play out? Look at Gen G up there, right? That's anyone would. But then there's one man less standing
Absolute
there. What
superstar.
What a talent! That is again, when you talk about value of kills, Les has got 25 kills. He is currently leading by a country mile. The value of those kills just then have kept Loud alive in map one.
In the value of round 23 alone, sorry.
And he's broken the money.
Yeah.
Money's in tatters for Gen G. It's never stopped them before, but in a moment like this, there's still those nerves now.
Sadak, if he can sniff this out early on, turret's going to go out. Yeah, Sadak immediately bolting away.
Something.
Yeah, exactly.
He can feel it. Sadak's calls, I've got to say, have been quite nice, especially in this half. I've been liking what I've been seeing. How much info does he? Okay, a little bit of info. Not going to have the full weight behind it,
That should
but
be
it
the green
enough.
light. Absolutely is. Utility invested now. A site up for grabs. QCK happy to take this space away. Meteor, will he get a chance to find anything here? But he's only got a Guardian.
Nice.
Massive, massive work. And now they're halted. The rotations are going to be in. Loud might have dropped the ball at the final hurdle.
Kill.
Getting a little too ahead of themselves. Still wanted to do more. 50 seconds. There's time for rotations.
Texture, the only one actually in a position to catch this. Doesn't overcommit, but it's a little bit of a fake. It's pulled Lakia. Is it potentially going to pull Karen as well? They spotted the cross, but Loud immediately drift back towards A.
Because
and look at the map now.
They've been conditioned to respond to this. This is what Loud was doing during those string of rounds. So now it's all on Munchkin. He's trying to play ahead. This is so brave, so bold. He's going to take 1, 2.
That's huge, though.
But it's massive. The site
क्या हो रहा है? Alt है उस पे अब.
with Les still alive, there is always going to be a chance.
And he has a pit to play with here. One snake bite left. Tui's commits to the plant.
Plants in. First fight. He's got it. The drop down, did he spot it? It doesn't matter. Tui's. He's there. And now just Caron. This guy has to step up. He's got to try and do something. But so much against him. And look at the reposition from Les. So hard to find. And Tui's going to try and play his life. But Caron takes it away. 1v1. He knows where he is. But what are you going to do
Les is
about
wrapping
it?
heaven. It's
He's
buying
toying with
so
him.
much time.
But can he get a safe defuse here?
I don't think he can actually get an
Can
angle
he
on
span
this.
it? Can he stop this? Because Caron ain't stopping. He's going. Steal away the 13th round.
Oh my!
For the hero, Les having to watch that slip away.
Bro, it हो गया. वरुण तो तू कर देता है ये plant.
Versus none other than Les. What a ridiculous way for this map one to conclude. And the penny drops just too late here.
Bloody hell. What a map was.
Yo,
That was
let's
ridiculous.
yo.
Come on,
Let's.
this has been unbelievable. I've got to have the death thoughts. I've got to have map 2. Let's get out of here.
That was something. Let's win this. था क्या यार ये?
Excuse me. Taking a picture of us? Oh, no problem. Yes, problem. You need Verizon. Check it out.
Verizon.
Pro with tons of storage, so you can take all the pics. So many selfies. That means panoramic. And as many portraits of me as you can design. Trade in any iPhone in any condition and get iPhone 15 Pro and iPad and Apple Watch SE all on us. Only on Verizon.
Anyway.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hello, Rishabh.
वो ऐड करते हैं which
Free as the wind and as strong as a piece of amber. Give me a breath like the fire you'll soon remember. Ooh. I'll be inflating till the end. I'm singing. Ooh. Drowning out all this broken again, but how do you do? For all the things that I've said, pushing me closer to the edge. Hand back, John, not let loose. Don't mind
जल्दी से लिख लो 2 पेज बचे देवांग करो भाई नहीं भेज देता लिस्ट बहुत सारा लिखा है यार चार मेरा मैच पे ध्यान था AMA ask me कर लो कुछ भी से दे रहा क्लीनर वर्जन तो फिर लिखना पड़ता है ना भाई चलो सारे
with some translation. Solo, congratulations on that first map win. And now up next is going to be Breeze. And at Pacific, we know that this is a map that you guys beat Paper Rex on, but it can also be 50-50 for you guys. What's your plan?
일단 첫 번째 세트 승리 축하드리고요. 이제 다음 세트가 브리즈인데 사실 젠지가 페렉을 상대로 브리즈에서 승리를 거두기도 했지만 어떻게 보면은 반반 갈 수도 있잖아요. 어떠한 계획이신가요?
저희가 조금 브리즈가 부족했던 부분이 많아서 저희가 마스터즈 오기 전에 준비를 좀 많이 해가지고 네 조금 그런 부분에 있어서 저희가 자신이 있어서 픽을 했기 때문에 네 자신은 있습니다. 네.
바이.
So before coming into Madrid in Pacific, we saw a lot of points where our breeze was lacking. So we tried really hard. We put in so many hours to fix those and really add on to our breeze. And I think we made the breeze stronger. So we're extremely confident. So all I can tell you is that we're feeling confident.
Ooh, well, after that map and after that, a little bit of a teaser. Cannot wait to see this one. Let's see if Genji can close this out.
Oh, I can't wait to see it either. Genji. Welcome to Masters. What a statement they made here, Mimi and Kukuka. You just can't help but love this team already.
Yeah, I mean, they played incredible. You see it in all of these reactions, just how much it meant to them. But for the squad, it really seemed like they were in control for the first part. But then the last 7 or so rounds of the game, Loud stepped up. Les was out there dropping almost 30. Sadak seemingly couldn't make a wrong call. But Genji still prevailed through that. Won 2 critical 1v1 rounds and pulled it off.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, for being a first map in a match here at Masters Madrid, I think it's crazy the amount of overcook and overthinking that has been going into some of these rounds. We know and expect that Genji was going to be a little bit more aggressive from the defense, and actually seeing Loud adapt onto it, as you're saying, like the duel of the minds. Some rounds being crazy just because of it, because of taking not the extra mile, but the extra 3,000 miles.
These teams were so closely matched that it really came down to the little things. There's 2 rounds where Loud plant the spike, go for a reflank, but it's just not planted in quite the right position.
Yeah.
It really came down to
what a way to close it.
And yeah, I mean, that clutch beating less in that situation to end the match is ridiculous.
There is just something about Loud on Icebox. It just feels unlucky at this point. But let's take a look at Texture and QCK, because we were very, very hype about both of these players coming into this. Kukuka, what did you make of their performances?
I think that QCK struggled a lot on the attack. He was not finding the impact that you would expect from a Jet coming onto Icebox, knowing the support that it was coming with it. And I think that Loud had to help in that regard. I think he went 0 and 4 in those first duels just on the attack. On the other side for Texture, I think that he was one of the pivotal and key parts to making them get into the game and actually find that success later in the game.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I don't think this was the best map for Quick, but for the other side, I mean, which was ridiculous. Yeah, I think both the guys who are big question marks for Gen G showed up. We saw Karan being clutch. We just talked about
but that's
it,
with Gen G, the clutches always go their way. Like,
but there was the question still of could they continue it against the best at an international event against
Paper
a
X
team
ain't
like
the best.
Loud. Not this year, not this year. But yeah, I think that they have proven that these players can still come compete at this level and still have that consistency that they did show back in Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, Loud, they have a lot to do now for map 2. But first, let's hear what STK has to say ahead of that map with Mika Fabs.
Hey guys, Mika Fabs here once again.
This is
I'm
5
with Coach Pew and Arthur to help me with some translation. Now, Coach Pew, we saw that Gen G, that map was really, really close. So this roster is a bit of an unknown for a lot of people. So how did you guys prepare for this match?
Então, como é que vocês fizeram para preparar com esse novo roster da Gen G?
Eles foram um time que jogaram muitos jogos na região deles, talvez o time que mais jogou no mundo no kickoff. Jogaram muitos mapas, então, por mais que eles tenham mudado na line-up, a gente tem muito material deles para estudar.
So overall, like they prepared with a lot of maps that they had, like even having like new players or not, that was not an issue for them.
Awesome. Well, let's see if Loud can make a comeback in this one.
They do have to make a comeback, but they've done it before. Let's not forget that this is the Loud that ended up winning a trophy at Champs, but Kukuka, you don't know what they do on Breeze. What would you like to see on Breeze?
I mean, nothing too crazy. Maybe a little bit of innovation or something that they may have picked up for other reasons. And I love that you mentioned in Champs because that is probably the last time that we saw them playing on that Breeze. It's been a very hot minute. And as we were saying before, they have been banning this map constantly during kickoff. But we can also think that that was a strategy or maybe something that wasn't ready by the time.
Yeah, we have Aegis Select ready now, so let's take a look and see where we are going to go. And Mimi, what do you think of this?
Loud is playing the default comp. It is interesting. They've been cooking on 4 out of their 7 maps with the Phoenix, Breach stuff, but I think both on Icebox and here on Breeze, that doesn't really work. You do need that dive agent, and we've seen teams try out the Yoru like Gen G, which is new. And I want to talk more about that composition, because it's Meteor of all players locking in the Yoru here. It's the only flashes they have, and honestly, I really like this comp there.
I love the fact that they're playing this double duelist. We know what the Yoru is capable of doing in this map. The support that is going to come onto Texture, I think that this is one of the most important duos. We know how comfortable they are also playing on that double controller. I think that the way, especially that now that they're starting on the defense, after they're up 1 map, if they have a strong start, if they manage to get those mind Euro games into the heads of Loud, this should be a 2-0.
This is the map, Breeze, that is the aim check map, the mid-rounding check, where it'll go into the most chaos. So for me, I'm really looking at Loud needing to step up. We need more out of QCK as the sole Jet on this team. We need to see the Sadak, who is pulling off the perfect calls towards the end of Breeze, or a Gen G, who is looking incredibly hot right now, might have a big upset on their hands.
And also think about it, Loud knew exactly that Gen G might bid into this, but Gen G is not scared. They're also bringing in something new. We were talking about how important the anti-strat, the preparation coming into the match is, but for this one, it's not going to be that simple.
Absolutely, and for Gen G, right? Like, this is a team where I think that element of surprise can help them out a lot. They tend to play a lot of default comps, a lot of normal stuff. Them coming out and having new ideas for Madrid, I think is really good for a squad like this that has shown the fundamentals. I like them taking this extra step by trying to get ahead on the meta and come up with not necessarily an original comp, but something different from what they've shown before.
I think it's funny because we say it's not original just based on what we see for a month. You know, it's like, it's been just a month, but
I mean, a lot of teams play this Yoru comp.
Yeah, but Breeze wasn't even in the map for sure. You know, it doesn't really, but if we go into think about how this first map went and how aggressive they were and the success that they were finding into bringing back that chaos that we have been mentioning during the day, I think that this is probably what they intend with this composition. Is not only being aggressive every round, is planting the doubt in your opponent's mind that might be happening.
Think about the implications for Loud, though. The team that has made 7 international events in a row. They've had events where they haven't done well. They bombed out at Copenhagen. They went out early in Tokyo. It happens for them. But this is a team that has expectations when they go to international events to succeed, to beat everyone else, to be one of the best. That's the pressure pressure that's on these players, and they're really on the precipice of being upset here.
Yeah, it would definitely be an upset, but it also would play into the Gen G story, right? This is how they got here. They upset everybody. Maybe Loud is carrying on the NRG curse. I mean, an America's team has to lose to a Pacific team on the opening day. That's just tradition. So with NRG not being here, somebody else has to do it. But I want to give some credit to Solo, because we want to talk about old guards. When Lakia was here at the last global event, Solo was his teammate. They played on the same team together.
I forgot Solo was on that
now,
team. That's crazy.
So the fact that Solo is being able to kind of go from the playing career into a coach and also come up with all these cool things and structure things that we've seen, we got to give him some credit.
Yeah, I mean, you absolutely do. Gen G, if there's one word to describe them, it has been disciplined throughout their run in Pacific. They're really good at kind of doing things right in the late round, at setting each other up well with utility, at playing the basics, the fundamentals at a really high level. Sure, it sometimes descends into the clutches, into the madness. They can thrive there too, but I think that's the identity that Solo has instilled in this team.
Yeah, exactly. But hey, this was just one map. I know that we're very surprised by the performance that we saw there at Pacific, but I think that going into the tournament, Gen G is going to be able to learn a lot from their opponents. I think that from this Icebox, even just today, after this day is over, they're going to have a lot to learn, and I don't think they're going to be the kind of team where next team is going to be an Icebox into them and kind of dismantle them. I don't think they're the kind of team that is going to struggle with that.
Well, earlier we asked you guys at home to vote in the MasterCard fan poll on which international league will win it all. I wonder if things might change.
Hey, okay, let's be honest.
This game.
Let's be honest, Sue. Everyone who voted Americas
was you.
No, was Sentinels. Everyone who voted Americas is Sentinels. The question's not in Portuguese. It's in English. It's all Sentinels
Well,
fans.
I am Spanish and I speak English. Did you say?
That's true. I mean, obviously, Brazilian fans also do speak
You're
English.
telling
Some
me
of
no
them.
one from Heretics voted here because
I feel like you're putting some words in my mouth that I didn't really say.
All I'm gonna say is I want to run this poll again tomorrow, depending on what happens later today, and see. But I'm gonna put a pin in that because the map is ready. We are also ready to dive into Breeze and hand this over to your casters. Here's Pansy and Hype.
Yeah, I don't really know what we're walking into, Mike, if I'm completely honest with you. We kind of theory
We're free balling. We're free balling right here, to be honest.
Falling, I
Yeah.
think, is actually the phrase.
Yeah.
But no, genuinely, because we were kind of like theory crafting Vito, kind of talking through options, talking through Michael Brown. Breeze was never in that conversation.
No, it isn't. And to see Gen G now pull out a little bit of a switch up as well is a massive concern for Loud, because through all of the Phoenix and Breach and all of the, call it madness, call it overcooking, whatever, we come out here with this composition on Breeze. So that does actually bring into question whether or not it was left out here, and you know what even happened with the veto. And again, won't speculate until we do get an answer or something in an interview. But was this a potential to see today for Loud? Period. And if so, what's the response to that? Because if you look at the rest of the map pool with QCK coming in here, and I mean, I was having this conversation the other day with GB, you make anybody play that much Phoenix, and they don't come out looking like the best duelist in the world. I'm sorry, they just don't. So to come in here, and sure, it could be a bit of a reassurance that we do see him on the jet. It's a bit more of a vanilla comp. Then maybe Loud dial back into, you know, where they're...
Classic.
Yeah.
Loud. It does feel like they somewhat baited the veto, right? You know what I mean? Like, you permaban something for an entire season. Basically, I say entire season.
Yeah, and again, it's weird because it feels like a small sample size, yeah.
But for what it was their perma takeaway, and then to adjust and leave it open as an option. You know, if you're Gen G, you think, well, surely that's...
Breeze is such a... for me, it always becomes such a question mark on the day. Another team can simply just out-frag you and beat you on Breeze. Unfortunately, that's just the way it happens sometimes. So to have it as kind of like a... maybe, that's why I'm hoping for Loud. It's just something, it's something of a pocket pick.
You're hoping so, right?
Is your permaban your pocket pick?
My brain hurts and I'm scared because if I'm going to be honest, I'll be transparent. First time for everything in esports. Icebox I thought was going to go Loud's way, just because from what I'd seen, what I expected, I thought, okay, I'll put it there. Close game, but Loud's favour.
For all intents and purposes, this should now be a 2-0. in my eyes.
If we're going off
Don't get me wrong,
what we've seen, what we expect, I don't know.
Gen G didn't look fantastic at this regionally. I mean, they struggled versus RRQ, and to come out now with a new composition, something a little bit quirky, which Loud have stood the test of time playing against teams like, you know, international teams, the teams that bring out curveballs, your Fnatics, your PaperXs. Is this going to work? When you take map 1 in the nature that it did, it might.
I don't know. There's a lot of theory crafting, right? We can sit here and just kind of talk it around the house.